Becca, bitch. You're about to get vile. Yeah. I'm a prom queen, but I keep to myself. Stacking high green. You're in debt to your health. AARP. Ain't shit old but my wealth. And my oppie's getting dumber every day. Ha! Up in the gym, but I never need a witness. Tonic and gin when I'm working on my fitness. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, yeah, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. I be flexing like the dudes high on tread, all natural. Better give her 10s. They say Blondie, how you getting those abs? Hey Bobby, let me call you a cab. Long legs, I'm a woman in STEM. My eggs, fertile, healthy, and firm. My trades, flowing free like the Thames. And my haters getting madder every day. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. On Becca, on God, I'll make you wish you had this hot bod. Yeah.
Can you give me a beat? Subliminal, lyrical, rap megastar, cynical. Here's Johnny Cornette Lamar, Jungle Jack, son of a TV star. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm hearing those jungle drums. Used to hang around with chimpanzees. What is his gimmick? He's a homeless bum, poo flinging, swinging in the trees. He's going to sit in one of those little kid seats. Jungle Jack wanted to use broken glass, real glass. The medical staff said, we don't think you ought to do that. This is where this fucking clown's head's at. Lil Jack got his panties in a bunch, so it was brought to CM Punk. He said, we don't do that on Saturday night. They're going to Wembley. He grabbed him by the goozle pipe. Real glass. You dick lick. He did not punch a person. He choked one little nitwit. Curly-headed, entitled little prick. What'd you think he was gonna do, dipshit? Ride me a river. Mine for wrestling of a slug in a sewer. You're not a TV star. You're tired. What the fuck? He looks like a minor. Jungle Boy sucks. 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 Don't run your fucking yap. Don't fuck around and find out. Jungle Jack, what, you gonna do something about it? Yeah, apparently. Oh my God, he grabbed me. Tony ended up firing his biggest star. Punk should send Jack off a Christmas card. Look in my eyes, what do you see? CM Punk to the WWE. What's Jack Perry gonna fucking do? Tony, fire the fucking little goof. Arrogant knob, indie nitwit. Here's your contract, Jack. Rip. Tony went, he made me mad. Send him another check, but don't let him come back. Jungle Boy sounds fake and like a dork. Runs and hides because he doesn't like to talk. homeless Jack living in a box under an overpass on cocaine shot into space. Jack is slapping himself in the face. He's ready to get butt fucked by Sonato, the Cucamonga Kids, Mr. Okada, and the independent legal team. They get through a bucket of Vaseline. Hey, Scapegoat, Nanny Goat, Billy Goat, Rick, hey, Sweet Chin Music, you're a fucking kid. Hey, he caused the thing with CM Punk, which he did. Hey, this place is a joke, you're a clown, and I quit. Hey, he's got very feminine hips. Hey, he might look good in a bikini, bitch. Hey, Jesus, I'd want to snatch him around the neck. Hey, bland, boring, mumble mouth dreck. Hey.
Well, folks, it's been a night to remember, but right now we are out of time. I'm Nick Diamond.
I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And I'm Johnny Gomez. On behalf of all of us here at Celebrity Deathmatch, good fight, good night.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
毎日
Sunday,
毎
Monday,
日
Tuesday,
日立の
Wednesday,
細長
Thursday,
静
Friday,
か
Saturday,
サラサ
Sunday
ラ
comes again.
綺麗な空気体には細長が気持ちいいんです日立のビッグフローウェルネス
SDL. Two bad bitches, one hot track. B3CCA, bitch. Two bad bitches, one hot track. Hello, hello. It's that B3 flow. You said you know me? I think you don't. My friends are rich and you're looking hella broke.
With Matt, I'm the real rough rider. Can't keep up, my arms must be tired. Slow-mo, super villain, Zack Snyder. You talk shit, but I know you're a subscriber.
DSL on our lips cause we're naughty. Hannah Montana acting like Miley. We can't stop cause we're the life of the party. Got your man squirming Scotty too haughty.
SDL with the $sign code.
B3CCA with the 3 cause I'm cool.
Face tat, ass fat, say that. Two bad bitches, one hot track.
Ooh, what's happening, guys? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks, here to remind you that
Wrestling's not fake!
and to bring up burning bridges. No, I saw Brian Zane tweeting about who's the podcaster that brought up Cora Jade and burning bridges. And I was like, that might have been me. I don't know. How y'all doing? We're here early today, so most people are probably going to catch this on replay. Sorry, I have an important meeting tonight. Something came up. And so I'm going to take that, and I'm going to rest early. I'm going to catch Raw tomorrow. And so I decided, instead of bailing on the show entirely, the show must go on. And thus, we're here this morning, depending where you are. If you're on Pacific time, it's noon time for me. Afternoon, if you're on the East Coast. And we're here to do some PWT, just a classic dish, just a classic ep. So hopefully the news piles up between now and Wednesday, or we're going to have no goddamn show. No, I always have a show for you guys. Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed the Becca. And there's over 100 of you watching right now. We are on X as well, so if you're on X, consider coming over to YouTube, unless X is your thing. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you all, and we're just going to dive into the show. Most people are going to have to catch this on replay. So you guys know 2 Becca tracks and maybe Jericho. By God, come on now. Becca's good, bro. Becca's good. Please don't put the live show replay for members only right away. Sometimes can't catch it live. Juan Alarcon, head over to youtube.com/@prowrestletimes and the replay will be available there immediately following the show. I just make it members only on youtube.com/@prowrestleclips. Okay, so the replay, if you go over to my other channel and subscribe there too, we're almost at 2,000 subs over there. And that's like the long form channel. Okay, so you go check that out. Am I okay? Yeah, I'm great. I'm tired as shit. And I have just some awesome shit going on. I'm going to catch up on some rest. Just got to watch Raw tomorrow, you know? So I was like, okay, I don't want to just cancel the show entirely. Might as well pop on now and hang out with you guys, you know? Straight to the flutes, 8 a.m. watching live on Max now. It's great with a 3 because she's cool. Exactly. Brent with a 3 because he's cool. Okay, I see everybody in here. So yeah, guys, we're just gonna jump into things. Hit like, hit subscribe, gift a membership, become a member, leave a comment, leave a dislike, a like, all that YouTube shit. And I appreciate you all. So here's Raw that we were going to watch tonight that we're not watching together tonight. So I guess we have the Creeds versus the War Raiders or War Machine. So I don't know. The Creeds need to get wins. We have Finn and AJ. Is that a match or is that them just facing off? Like, that's an amazing match if that's just a match we get. Io and Ripley versus Roxanne and Julia. That's going to cook. You got Phil Brooks here. Another fellow Phil. CM Punk. And he's going to cut a promo. He's back for the first time since the pay-per-view or the PLE. We got Jey Uso in the house, and then Penta versus Gable rematch. And then, some El Grande Americano chicanery will go down. 2.5 hour long show, but they announced quite a bit. Very Excalibur and Tony Khan of them to announce like 80% of the fucking show before it even goes down. So I'm excited. I'm excited. Lincoln Hawk has been a member for 10 months. I hate that I missed this weekend, but the show was fire AF. I can't stay too long, but love you, PWT. Dude, you too. Big things coming on Discord, and Liar still sucks. Okay, fair enough. You're just mad because Cora got released, dude. No. Yeah, pop into the Discord, and yeah, we're gonna get a GM mode fired up here soon for sure. And yes, I hope you guys are enjoying the day show. So the replay again over on the Times channel. Okay, so we have light news to get into. We have miscellaneous news. We got sickos. I'm gonna throw a bunch at you. I'm gonna make up for this shit. Okay, for this show tonight not being on at the regular time. Okay, I'm gonna make up for all that today, I assure you. So I'll do it live. Yeah, exactly. So let's play a banjo. Let's play a banjo for light news. Actually, we're going to do a bad news Barrett for bad news, which is just light news. It's not bad by any means.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. I don't know. Okay, so we head over to UFC news to start off light news, okay? And here's Gable Steveson. And he just basically says that he plans to become a UFC heavyweight champion in the future. So he's training MMA now. He ain't coming back to pro wrestling, which is what some people feared. So that ain't going to happen. Over to miscellaneous news, okay? We have Shayna Baszler dropping real-life advice on her Twitch. And, yeah, let's hear what Shayna Baszler, the Queen of Spades, has to say. And I must say, too, shout out her shirt. And I've been a fan of her for a long time. Like, her mixed martial arts career spans a long, long time. And she was even on that Ultimate Fighter reality show. And, yeah, I am definitely a big fan.
This is where the stream is a cult. We talk about something because we're a cult, a support group. But sometimes we have to leave what is comfortable for what is true. right? That's a good thing I wrote in here. So, you know,
she's so proud of herself.
sometimes things are uncomfortable, but it's pieces of your life coming together for a vision that's even too big for you to see. So I hate the phrase everything happens for a reason, because I don't believe that. I don't think everything happens for a reason. Sometimes shit just happens, but I do think
True.
that we make the meaning in something. So when something is important to us, if we think we are born to do something, we make that reason. We give that reason to the thing. We think we have roots planted in something. That's us. We are the roots planted in the thing. That's not the thing planted in us. That's us planted in the thing. And when you know that, everything is fine, because then you know you are the one in control, and it's not happening to you, it's happening through you.
That's that martial arts shit.
Right? You can make, not everything happens for a reason, but you can make meaning out of everything. How you can't control what happens, but you can control what you do with yourself in accordance with what happens. So that's that.
That's that. Yeah, dropping bars, man. Wise words there. So here's a picture of Rhino, who's been in WWE, WWF, WCW, ECW, TNA, ROH, AEW, NWA. I wonder if he's ever been in New Japan. In Nuge. But look at that dude. What a fucking stud. Right? Sometimes with an I, sometimes with a Y. Why? Because he's that guy. Speaking of that guy, Velveteen Dream believes he deserves a second chance in WWE. He urges fans to rally for his WWE comeback using hashtag #WeWantTheDream. How about no? Right? And he dropped some little cryptic videos or whatever. Let's give some of these a look, or maybe one, maybe two videos. And I'm not going to read that article about it, but here's a minute-long Velveteen Dream. I forget his real name, but he's out here, out at a park bench somewhere, and he wants us to start using that hashtag, folks, and get him back to the Federation.
Because wrestling is fake. It makes sense to me that people who...
because this motherfucker said, because wrestling's fake.
Wrestling's not fake!
watch something fake, who love fake chaos, will continue to pour into it. But I just want you to know it's really, really affecting me. And since I have been affected, I only feel that it's right that I affect you back. It's called a cause and effect, you know?
Nah, we cool.
Because if Patrick Clark can't have pro wrestling,
Patrick Clark, that's it.
I don't think anybody should. You know, they're going so far as to compare me to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit. They call me the most hated man in professional wrestling. And loop me in with Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit is a killer. I'm not a killer. But don't push me. Because if you push hard enough, I'll kill pro wrestling for you. Velveteen Dream, that third eye, it wasn't just a gimmick. Patrick Clark has seen a lot. And I know a lot about people you love, people you're still watching on TV today. So the choice is yours, and you've already made it. I'm going to ruin pro wrestling for you. I'm going to make sure that I expose the business. And hopefully, none of us can have pro wrestling.
Okay. Well, fuck you too, then. Here's another video from him. This one isn't as long. He's good at talking, though.
I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Who is going around saying that Patrick Clark was difficult to work with.
EC3.
There's a lot of people I worked with. Don't believe me? Just watch. Just watch.
What are you going to show up with Lars Sullivan? Vince and Lars Sullivan, pal. Oh my goodness. The hell's going on? I don't know, man. I love the gimmick. He fucked it up. He ruined it for himself and the fans. And that's on him. And he's coping. He's like begging us to beg for him to come back. And no, bro. You ain't redeemed your shit. He went on Giga Chad Van Vliet and he's like, well, I was messaging this boy. And Van CVV's like, well, why would you do? Well, why? He's like, well, I mean, you know, I'm just messaging him. Right? Oh, shit, man. I don't know, man. It's all allegedly, and I'm good. I'm good on seeing Patrick Clark or Velveteen Dream or whatever in WWE or anywhere, really. I mean, I'm not saying don't ever let him work again or whatever, right? I guess he's not guilty of it. Well, didn't he go like crazy and try and beat someone up somewhere, like outside of a corner store or something? I don't know. This is all allegedly. This is a comedy show. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Eat your heart out, Mox. So here is this guy. What's his name? Super Deadly. Big Dummy. Yeah. I forget this guy's name all the time. I Show Speed. But he's like, this is for the juggalos and juggalettes. And you know Moxley's going to steal this one. This is an old jackass bit.
Happy 4th of July, motherfuckers. This is Superhuman TV Show. Today I'm going to get hit with fireworks. This is for juggalos and juggalettes. Do not try this at home. I hope you like it. Ooh.
Yeah, Superhuman, Super Dummy. Yeah. Oh, shit. I totally forgot.
Boop! Light that bitch up. Fuck this shit!
Yeah, that was funny 20 years ago when Steve-O did it. So Velveteen Dream, man, he wants back in the Fed, man. He starts posting this on his IG. If you love me, like you say you love me, the bosses pay attention to social media. It's simple. We want the dream and spam Triple H WWE. They will hear you. We can make enough noise to drown out the lies and the hate. A lot of you owe me an apology for dragging me through the mud, knowing 5 years later, here I stand still, free and without a single charge. But I get it. It's very hard for people to admit when they were wrong and malicious. Okay, well, you're not going to ask people to tweet out a hashtag for you and then at the same time like talk shit and blame them and be like an asshole to them. You know, it's a tough sell, brother. So moving along here, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are officially the Young Bucks' partners at New Japan Resurgence against Bullet Club War Dogs. This may have gone down the other day, but either way, I digress. They're back in New Japan, and they also said that they're open to working in AEW. No shit.
昔々ドアを開けてはいけないと言われた。その中には闇がいた。血の匂いがした。奴らが帰ってきた。過去から来て忘れ去られた名前を持って、彼らは門を叩いている。でも入れてはいけない。光を見せてあげて。
Give them call, for they know not what they do. New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, you are not just witnessing history. What you're witnessing here today, my friends, it is not a re-debut. It is not an arrival shot. It is a resurrection. It is the resurgence of the Good Brothers. And May 9th is day one at Resurgence. You are witnessing a total takeover.
Okay. I'm here for it, Eric. Brock Lesnar's son, Duke Lesnar, drafted to the Medicine Hat Tigers in the WHL. So the WHL is like a developmental minor league for the NHL, right? And Medicine Hat's in Alberta. So awesome. Good for him. And yeah, hopefully he makes some waves there on that team. Here's OG Bullet Club member. We were just talking about the good old brothers, right? Well, here's a good old brother, Gabe Kidd, OG Bullet Club members team with the Young Bucks at New Japan Resurgence. Here's Gabe Kidd's response to it.
It's going to be Bullet Club War Dogs versus Young Bucks and 2 Bullet Club OG members. Who do you think is going to be the Young Bucks partners?
Come on, man. It's not even a question. Mystery opponents. Come on, man. Everyone knows who it is.
Yeah.
It's stupid if you even have to say it. But I'll say this. I'm the coldest white boy in the game. Their time
Guan.
is done. All of them. Young Bucks finished. Finished. I don't care what you're the EVPs of. You are not into me. You're a little fish. I'm a shark in this game. So it doesn't matter who those mystery opponents are. Yeah. I wonder who it could be. Well, it's not Tomatonga and Tangaloa, is it?
It's going to be
respect. I like Gabe Kidd, man. There's something about him. So here is Hollywood Haley J and my guy Zicky Dice. Zicky. So Zicky, you guys are familiar. I've given the resume rundown. NWA, I think he was like a national champion or whatever belt he had for a bit there. TNA, AEW, he's done a couple jobs. He's Seth Rollins' buddy. He's lead singer of a band. And then he decided, yeah, I'm going to become a great wrestler or whatever. And he starts training with Seth Rollins. And Hollywood Haley J, of course, she famously from the Wrestlers Netflix series, and they're doing a pro wrestler based season of Power Slap. I guess Dana White got this. He fucking hates pro wrestling until he goes, oh, these guys will slap the shit out of each other for money. So go figure. I'm going to watch it. So Power Slap, I had watched the first season, okay, of the reality show. I'm a big The Ultimate Fighter fan. You know, I watch every season, 30-some deep. The show's complete trash now, but I just fucking watch it anyways. And so I watched the first season of Power Slap. Then I watched the first big event after that season. And I was like, this isn't for me. But, you know, you have to give things chances, like food, you know, lots of experiences in life, you know. It's like, okay, you try it once, you can know for sure it's not for you. I felt like it wasn't for me, but it's like, I'll give it another shot. So I tried to watch the second event Power Slap put on, and I was just like, okay, this is just cooked. This is stupid. So I don't know how many seasons of that show. I know it fucking failed and got kicked off of TBS or TNT or whatever, come on after AEW. And then it went to like Rumble exclusively or some shit. So I'll watch the pro wrestler season, right? And I get why they did it, because these people can all tweet out, hey, and they all have these followings, right? And it's indie wrestlers, and then maybe this will incentivize. I said it. What's to stop Braun Strowman from going and doing Power Slap? It's not like you wouldn't do good at it. And that's the fucking problem. When you start getting like the Saudis involved and Dana White, he's just not going to let this thing go. This is his baby, you know? And so we'll watch this clip. Here's them training with pool noodles, I guess, to slap the shit out of each other. And Hollywood Haley J, like Paige Van Zandt, who was in AEW, and she was a legit UFC fighter, MMA fighter. And I mean, she's done, I don't think she's lost. And she started doing Power Slap. And it's like, maybe Hollywood and Paige mix it up. And like, maybe that's what Dana White's looking at. Hey, let's just make this a fucking freak show then, if that's what people want it to be. But yeah, here's just some footage of them training. Not to hate on any of the wrestlers doing this. I love you guys. You shouldn't do this though. Okay. Like taking the bumps is CTE. Running gives people CTE is what they're discovering. Okay. It's an accumulative thing. We're all getting CTE every day. right? And so, not literally, you know, but they find it in runners and soccer players and all this shit now, right? It's a thing that accumulates over your life. And so doing this just adds extra to it. And I don't want to see any wrestlers for shoot knocking each other. I was like, imagine if we see Zicky Dice KO'd on the floor from a fucking slap from one of these guys. I don't want to see that. Anyways, sorry, I'm taking a long time to get to this clip, but it's just I gotta vent that, you know?
One, two.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this. God forbid I got to look at fucking Hollywood or Zicky laying on the ground, knocked out from a slap. Fuck. Chris Hero, and speaking of slap, here's Eddie Kingston trying to get in a shoot fight with Chris Hero back in the day, and Chris Hero just sort of shrugging it off and being like, get this fucking kid off me, dude. This is pretty funny.
But first, let's get this piece of trash out of here. No, get out of this ring right now. I'm the champion of this company.
See, do you guys see this? We're breaking it down here. So, like, Eddie gets mad at whatever's going on. That stomp was like a real stomp. So Eddie shoots like a single pretty much. He's just grabbing what he can get. And then he's got a high single. Like, Eddie, sweep his other leg or something. Like, what the fuck? Even had his leg off the ground, and Hero able to just, like, sprawl on that shit off the rope. Not threatened by this at all. Not even trying to get underhooks or anything. That's a real shot with the microphone. Look, the microphone's bent. It's crooked. He cracked it on his fucking head. They start going at it.
There we go.
See, those are live headbutts. I'm surprised I never saw it. Like, if I did see this, I just did not remember it till I saw it recently on X, and I was like, oh shit. Should bring that to the show. I haven't seen this. And I will give Eddie credit. He ate a couple of live rounds, and then he fucking he went in the corner there, and then he let Hero, like, he tried to work again. He stood there and let Hero chop him. Hero live backhanded him in the face. So then Eddie snapped again. Good shit, pal. Yeah, that's good shit. Here we go. So Jeff Cobb, he said, this is how I'm spending my retirement, making appearances on the red carpet for Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 release party. Shaka, bruh. And so he showed up at Backlash. So he was born in Guam, moved to Hawaii. And then when he was like, I want to say 14 or some shit, I don't know. I'm not a historian on the guy. Just quickly read up on him over the last few days. And although I am actually very familiar with him. And in fact, like every 2K game, I fucking make sure to make him for the last like 4 years. You know, he's a guy that definitely, like when he came to AEW, I popped for it and shit. And then Moxley beat him off like a superplex roll up or whatever. It's like, what the fuck, man? But yeah, Jeff Cobb, he moved to Hawaii, so they'll just make that connection there. You know, he has Hawaiian ties, and yeah, they'll just figure it out from there, man. And I'm all good with it. I would have liked to see, and as big of a bloodline mark as I am, you guys know your boy Phil is a fucking bloodline mark, but I would love to have seen Jeff Cobb debut alongside Seth. I think would have been the best thing. You know, and just have Heyman smash him over everyone's heads. But hey, because like, where's Hikuleo, dude? You know, something's got to be up with that. I'm really starting to wonder. But yeah, dude, he was at the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Bam Margera was there. He's doing well as well, if you guys are into Jackass and stuff. And so it's good to see that. And they're lobbying to get Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2 remastered. And they fucking should, and they should make a new one. So WCW Nitro book here. In this excerpt from Beyond Nitro, former Spike TV executive Kevin Kay remembers the network's tumultuous partnership with WWE. Kevin Kay says it turned ugly. First of all, we never saw anything until it was delivered to the NOC, Network Operations Center, out of Hauppauge, Long Island. Anybody out by Hauppauge, Long Island? They basically did the show live, so we didn't know what the hell they were going to do. We had a standards and practices person sitting out in Long Island who would bleep stuff, but that was the extent of our creative involvement in WWE. Every once in a while, I would go up to see Vince in Connecticut just to be a good partner and basically have him tell me that I didn't know what I was doing. You don't know what you're doing, pal. Get the fuck out of my office. Yeah, man. Spike was like the commercial for it was like, here's an explosion, here's some titties, here's a punch, here's a gun shooting, here's more titties, here's a beer and titties, right? So I don't know, like nothing WWE was doing was you know, they didn't have to worry about it's all under control, pal. Just don't film anything on my plane. No. So Indy Hartwell is the new Hog Women's Champion, the HOG House of Glory Champion. I wonder if JD was allowed to call it. So B. Priestley, the day of her availability, she shows up at New Japan Resurgence, and she beat Viva Van.
And it is a successful return to the ring and a successful return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And let's be honest, man, professional wrestling overall, the true king of sports here.
So that's sweet, you know, good for her. That's what you got to do. And she had a name before WWE, so you just got to jump back on the horse and just get to work. Just fuck it, you know. Good for her. And then we had the Good Brothers and the Young Bucks. They throw up the 2 Sweet, and then the BC War Dogs walk away. And I quote tweeted this, and I was like, man, we've seen this 5 times already over the last, like, 20 years, I feel like. But for real, like, over the last decade, we've seen this same shit, like, 7 times. The Young Bucks don't have a fucking creative bone in their body. This Bullet Club shit has ran its course.
Let's all come together. Check your hands. いやこれまあとトゥースイート完成
トゥースイート
させてしまいました。さあ現クラブはどうする？何？しない裏リバースリバースです。
Japanese commentaries goated, even back in like the Pride days. You know, Boss Rutan and Steve Rennell and Mauro Ranallo would do a great job, but some of those Japanese calls are just so iconic. Yeah, I don't know. They walk away, whatever. We've seen that. Someone's gonna get jumped, blah blah blah. Who gives a shit? I thought those guys weren't even Bullet Club anyways. The Elite, right? So here's Cedric Alexander at HOG Wrestling. He made his first appearance and had his first match. He took on Mike Santana, and I believe he put Mike Santana over. And he gives an emotional speech here. It's 30 seconds long. This is his first appearance post WWE.
I just want to say thank you, because without your support, there is no me. Without professional wrestling, I don't have a life. I'm dedicated to nothing more than being in this ring. It gave me everything. It gave me a family. It gave me my wife. It gave me my child. It gave me my dogs, my house, my friends. Thank you. Thank you, Pro Wrestling. Thank you, House of Glory. I will be back.
Indeed he will. This will not be the last time we see Cedric Alexander in an HOG ring.
I just want to say thank you, because without your support.
Hell yeah. I thought he was for sure just going to show up in AEW, but he needs to get some matches in. He knows when he goes there, it's not going to be that much fucking match time. So here's Jose the Assistant. Okay, the most ingobernable thing done so far this year in wrestling. Independent wrestling, no fines, no suspensions, no stooges running to snitch to the office. Let's take a look.
Jose
Here.
the Assassin.
Jose the Assassin, dude.
It was just enough on that double accent, and now that penalty box that's out there for the Omega ladder match later on tonight.
He's more jacked than fucking half the AEW roster.
Tonight.
No offense.
Hey, wait a minute. Mike Forte. I believe that's just Nona out at ringside. Oh, Jose the
That's someone's grandma, for that's his Nona. Oh my god. Shout out Jose the Assassin, dude. Fucking amazing. That's wow. Yo, he sent me this picture, like basically of that. And I was like, oh my God, that is ruthless. So here, speaking of ruthless and Tony Khan in AEW, you know he's going to sign Ninja Mac. Here's the Super Ninja special. Watch this. This is some shit out of the Jackie Chan cartoon. Do y'all remember that cartoon where Jackie Chan, I think it was called Jackie Chan Adventures, and he had to like get all the medallions with his niece or whatever? This is some shit that would happen in that cartoon. If you guys have seen that cartoon, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? Watch this.
Ninja!
It's not a joke. Like Jack Cartwheel who? This is Ninja Mac backflip, dude. Did you guys see that shit? One more time. Like, this is insane.
Ninja!
That's one of the most goddamn ridiculous things I've ever seen. I mean, Dave Meltzer is just probably going insane watching this. I love that. I've watched that clip maybe 7,000 times. Okay. In sad news, Sabu passed away. We will see him pop up throughout the rest of the show. Sabu, 1964 to 2025. RIP legend. And we will give Sabu a round of applause for being such a fucking legend. So Becca on God, B3CCA, she has a little message. Okay, let's take a listen.
Here's a little lesson for you guys, because apparently you guys don't know anything about anything, but this is singing. On Becca, on God. That's singing. This is rapping. On Becca, on God. Okay? That's rapping. On Becca, on God. That's screaming. So, end of lesson. Hope you guys learned something, because you guys clearly need to go back to fucking school.
Yeah. Did you guys just hear our fucking queen, what she had to say? Go back to school.
Stupid idiot.
Go back to school, you goddamn dummies.
Dummy. Yeah.
And don't ever disrespect Becca again. So, exclusive. Former WWE superstar Cora Jade, Elena Black, announced her first match since leaving the company. And let's take a look. Let's take a gander here, where it's going to be at Atomic Legacy Wrestling. ALW, okay, in Daytona Beach, Florida. She is going to have a match there. So shout her out. And yeah, again, just jumping right on the wagon. That's the way to do it. Speaking of on the wagon, on the tank, Shotzi Blackheart is coming to MLW, which is a great suit for great fit for her, you know. Yeah, a lot of people say TNA and shit, but MLW is a good spot for some of these folks as well. So, OMG, they're trying to kill pro wrestling in Indiana with these new rules. This is bullshit. So look at these rules, man. This is in Indiana. Okay? To all promoters, wrestlers, and referees. I did speak to a couple of people about the upcoming inclusion of pro wrestling being regulated by the Indiana Gaming Commission Athletic Department. Okay? So they're going to start regulating pro wrestling. Like you'd have thought they would have, that wouldn't have even been on their radar. But there's money in it, man. It's a boom all around. I know some people are like, no, there's one company booming. No, it's all of pro wrestling's booming right now. Well, things could change. It does look like that is going to happen. They're working on regulation for the added sports, but here are some of the fees associated with MMA sanctioning. Boxing is similar. Not all would be included in wrestling and may be different rates. Yeah, it would. And also, I mean, they bring big WWE events there, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the Rumble and shit has been there, no? In Indiana. So it's just money. They're just looking to scrape some off the top. So I would recommend, licensed wrestler. While I don't agree that pro wrestling should be included, I just wanted to share the information so you can be ready. So some of this will affect wrestling, but yeah, an amateur MMA sanctioning body, 500, promoter 300, 10,000, surety bond required. Pro MMA 50. So it just lays out all the prices. I don't know, like if they have to pay for referees and all this shit because it's sanctioned. So for pro wrestling, it might be like if there's blood, no blood, no pile drivers, who knows, no table spot. We don't fucking know, right? You have to pay for referees, things like that. If that's the case, then yeah, WWE is going to for surely avoid, they'll be fighting against this shit. But I don't think they're trying to kill pro wrestling. I just think they're looking at an opportunity to make some money. So the monster of all monsters, Adam Scherr, says, well, would you look at that unbelievable time announcing my new series, Everything on the Menu, at NBC Universal. It will be airing on USA Network fall of 2025. Oh, and let me tell you, Tiffany Haddish is an absolute gem. So there's Braun Strowman with Tiffany Haddish. And he's like, former WWE superstar, but he's on TV with his show. And I don't know what it is. Everything on the Menu. So it's some food show. He's going to go to places and order everything on the menu. That's what the show is, I bet, if we looked it up. And then he's going to eat it all. Because he's a big, giant bodybuilder guy, right? Did I guess it? Come on. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was miscellaneous news, I suppose.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
So we've got some TNA news over, yeah. So Lucha Libre Online tweets this out, that PWI confirms TNA has promoted Ross Foreman to vice president. Ross has been the director of press and public relations for TNA since its inception. One of the hardest working individuals behind the scenes who have made TNA the success it is today. Extremely well deserved. In addition, Eric Tompkins was also promoted to a VP role. Rolling. And Ross Foreman says, excited for the future of TNA with its incredibly talented roster, crew, staff, and of course its loyal fan base. Lots of memories and friendships at TNA. Love the TNA partnership with WWE and can't wait for TNA Slammiversary on July 20 at UBS Arena in New York. Yeah, I think that's going to be, you're going to want to tune into that, man. Allegedly, right? You want to tune into that fucking TNA show. That's Slammiversary. So breaking, TNA officially signs Harley Hudson now, like 2 summers ago, or like a summer ago or 2. Might have been 2. They scouted her out in the UK, I want to say, or they traveled somewhere and they scouted her. And damn, she has a great look. She can work, and her physique is incredible. And she's young and someone they could develop, and they're finally pulling the trigger and officially like signed her. I thought they already did, but I guess that was just like a development deal or something. And shout out Harley Hudson. I'm not overly familiar with her work, but just look her up and you'll understand. Like, even just look at that picture, you know, she just looks unique, and I hope she makes an impact. Right, guys? So TNA also signs Myla Grace, and she is the first ever Irish woman signed to TNA, like on like a full blown contract or whatever. Irish person, right? So shout her. I don't know who she is whatsoever. I have no clue what her career is about whatsoever thus far, but hopefully they can develop her. And yeah, Matt Hardy says TNA is working really hard to secure a new TV deal. And we all knew that, definitely. You can tell. And that was TNA news. Okay, so I'm going to check in with chat, I think, and we're going to get into like WWE news. I think we should run through some of that. That's probably the way to go. And then we can get into some AEW hilarity. Or we can hold on a second. No, let's go to AEW first. Yeah, because that was backed up a bit from because we tackled some WWE stuff over the weekend. Jericho time. Is it Jericho time, bro? I don't know about all that. I mean, if you guys are asking for it. Does she dress up like a bird? Are you going to be live for Raw tonight as well? Brad, I'm not going to be. No, that's why I'm live right now. So people will have to catch the replay. You know what I mean? But next Monday it'll be normal. Wednesday it'll be normal. Saturday. And also Thursday I'm going to be live with the Squared Circle Maniacs on their show. Or I don't know if it's live. I think they record it. I don't even know. But either way, I'm going to be with them on Thursday.
I don't know.
Right? Doing the SC Maniac show. So that will be amazing. Okay, let's get into some news. Mike Hawkslong, your channel sucks. Yeah. Thank you. So does your hack fucking name. That was funny in grade 3. Okay, let's go. Let's get an Ichi Nissan Da chat, shall we? Let's get Ichi Nissan Da in the chat. Everyone together at the same time. Because it's time for AEW news. And we have a bit to get to here. So let me see. B. Priestley, we talked about her earlier. And she was formerly Blair Davenport, obviously, reveals she's open to having conversations with AEW following her WWE release. Yeah, why wouldn't she be? And she says, everyone knows how close me and Toni Storm are. We're like sisters. She lives in Orlando as well. We see each other often. But I'm also along the lines of I'm definitely open to having conversations with AEW, but I do also want a little bit of time just to do my own thing. That's the move, right? You leave WWE, you go get these bags from like, oh, I can get like my price is the highest. So let me go do like 5 shows where I get these, you know, bags, and then I'll go get Tony's big bag. Pause. And yeah. But her and Tony, I mean, if her and Tony are like sisters, then she's obviously going to go there. I know people are like, it's Osprey's ex, but I think they'll figure it. Or is she Osprey's ex? Is that the right gal? I don't recall. Are they trained together or something? I'm not sure. Anyways, Soraya Page is what she'll be known as once again, coming soon to a Monday or fucking Friday SmackDown near you. But, you know, she reveals on her podcast, Rule Breakers, that they tried to get her. So if you guys remember, right, Ruby Soho is in a shoot relationship with Cool Hand Ange. I think that's his nickname, right? And they have a baby, IRL, whatever. They're both not on TV. And so the Daddy Magic Taste, Matt Menard, I guess, was supposed to also get romantically involved with Saraya. Now, of all the people to get romantically involved in AEW, why them?
You what?
Right? And she was with Ronnie Radke at the time, too. Just seems very weird. But she says in AEW, there's a wrestler called Daddy Magic. They wanted me to do a love storyline with him. I've managed to go my whole career without doing a love storyline, and I wasn't going to start it. They were like, no, all he's going to do is kiss you. I had a boyfriend at the time, and I was just like, I can't do it, you guys. I just can't do it. So I turned it down. Yeah, I just, where's the chemistry? Like, what do they, who came up with that? They have zero vibe at all. So that's terrible. And thank God she turned that down. Creative freedom. So Tony Khan and former WWE star Maven were backstage together at a Collision taping recently, and Maven he's like the Chris Hansen of pro wrestling. He's like rolling up on people and doing exposés and shit. So he rolls up on a Collision. Okay. And then he goes backstage, and it's a great video. Go check it out. Shout out Maven Huffman, Maven K. Huffman, I think is the channel. And he says, I noticed you get a bad rap because I see how much you care. I see how much you put into this, going up to your guys afterwards and making sure they're okay. Dude, much respect. I will from here on out go to bat as much as I can. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it doesn't. I'm sure Vince did that. No, he not go? I'm not trying to compare it to Vince, but like, where did you work, Maven, where people weren't checking on you? Maybe Vince didn't. Maybe he fucking didn't. But that's good. Tony Khan, we've seen it in the 10 minutes of Tony Khan video. He goes up and he's like, are you okay? Oh, that's great. Yeah, that was great. Way to bring him in. Yeah, no, I gave you more time. No, it was good. I gave you 5 on the third. I gave you 30 on the 5. It's great. So shout out Tony Khan and shout out Maven doing the Lord's work there. So Sammy Guevara tweeted this out. One door closes, another will open. Keep going. And then Sean Ross Sapp tweets out right underneath it, and someone screen grabbed it. And it's like, we have some very interesting contract news to come to Fightful Select for subscribers today. Now, that was in regards to Willow Nightingale's contract that I guess is up in a few months. However, why is Sammy tweeting out this cryptic shit? One of the pillars. Really think about where all the 4 pillars are at this point in AEW, right? I called them the 4 fillers a long time ago. Got me a lot of heat with the sickos, right? But I definitely I definitely am curious to see what happens to Sammy in the next. I mean, I know they just stuffed him on Collision, but we will see. What the fuck? Here's Tony Khan cringe. Well, here's just a quick reminder. We've seen this one a bunch of times, but we have more. We have fresh Tony Khan cringe. It's just good to remind ourselves sometimes, right? Of all the good cringe. Like when he hits you with the Antetokounmpo. You know, Tony Khan's a wild boy, man. So we move along here. As I mentioned a moment ago, Willow Nightingale's contract with AEW expires in a few months. I expect her to re-sign, probably, if I had to guess. Is WWE like, we need Willow Nightingale? No. Would she be awesome and presented way better in WWE? Yeah. But is she presented poorly in AEW? I'd say with all the hardcore shit, yeah. But I don't know. I bet they just give her good money and she's free to like do her thing and wrestle wherever she wants and shit. So I don't know. Yeah. It's interesting. Willow, yeah, I'm interested. So AEW Dynamite on Wednesday did 629,000 viewers, not including the max number, Brian, and a 0.16 in the key demo. So I guess not bad for them. It's year over year shit in the bed, man. Nothing they can really do to get that back, you know? And they're not building any stars. So as you guys can see in the thumbnail, I got Ricochet and Tony Khan as Family Guy characters there, and Excalibur's mask was featured as like a reference point on Family Guy. Now, I briefly talked about this, I think, over the weekend on Saturday. Like, I just briefly talked about it while we were watching Backlash or whatever. But I didn't realize a bunch of AEW sickos, I guess, like the sentiment in the IWC today was a bunch of people like, oh, they didn't even mention Excalibur AEW. And like, of course they weren't going to do that. You know, that's just the mask was used as just inspiration, you know? And it is cool that Excalibur got his mask in there, but that's because Colt Cabana, again, he's connected, man. So his brother's the director of Family Guy. And sometimes your favorite masked wrestlers make an appearance. I didn't see any sickos being like, oh, AEW getting a... I'm not saying it wasn't there, but I didn't see any personally really being like... And of course, this is anecdotal, but being like, oh, AEW gets the shout out on Family Guy or whatever. But there was a lot of, you know, WWE fans being like, oh, the sickos are losing their minds over this. It's a cool look. Nobody knows what the fuck it means. It means as much to that, like anybody just watching Family Guy, when they see that Excalibur mask, it means as much to them as this match that Chris Griffin's wearing with the stars on it, right? But to wrestling fans, cool, good for them. You know, the scene, I think we'll play the scene. Hopefully we'll be all good and we'll play. They make fun of wrestling fans in it. But speaking of the reason why we get made fun of, and I see a lot of people saying what I was saying like fucking a week ago or whatever, about a week ago, maybe more, where I roasted Dave because he was complaining about, well, you know, AEW is just not cool, and it's just the perception is WWE's cool at WrestleMania, even though he wasn't there. And he's telling someone who was there, like, oh, you know, just the crowd, it got back to me, you know, that just the idea at Mania was like, just AEW and Tony Khan aren't cool. It's like no one was talking about AEW at WrestleMania, bro. And so I was saying, like, yeah, I wonder why, when Dave's the one going, this is what good wrestling is, and this is what's cool, and this is what's in, and good booking is, and then you have Tony Khan acting like this, right? Look at him doing this like Hulk Hogan shit.
I can guarantee we're going to do that. I just might need a bigger building for that. But I think I know one. In fact, I think I've been there before.
What was that? Why did they do Hulk Hogan shit when Hulk Hogan's banished? And why was he like catching the mic like that? You know, it's like a sixth grader doing shit in front of a mirror.
I can guarantee we're going to do that. I just might need a bigger building for that. But I think I know one. In fact, I think I've been there before.
I mean, just the overall sentiments that, you know, Oh, Tony Khan's not cool, Brian. Jesus Christ. So from CMLL, here's Tony Khan making an announcement for CMLL. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Tony Khan, the president of AEW, All Elite Wrestling. And I just want to wish a heartfelt congratulations to our friends CMLL for 11 years of CMLL Informa.
Tony, they're going to put subtitles. They're not deaf, bro. You don't have to speak. He's speaking like they're, bro, they just speak Spanish, okay? They're not retarded. The fucking subtitles will be there. You're all good. Just say what you gotta say. Thank you. Thank you, TikTok and AEW. We'll see you tonight. It's great.
Happy 11th anniversary to CMLL Informa. And here's to many more great years of Informa. And we're very excited about AEW coming to Mexico in June. We've got AEW and Ring of Honor taking on CMLL. We've got Grand Slam Mexico. And of course, Fantastica Mania Friday. It's going to be a great week, and I'm so excited for AEW making our debut in Arena, Mexico. It's a dream come true, and I'm so excited about 11 years of CMLL Informa. Congratulations, my friends. See you soon.
It's great. Okay, and cut. Oh, that's my guy, man. TK's my guy. So Ric Flair says it will be a great night of tribute to Mongo in Chicago at AEW Collision. Beach break. Let's all honor and remember Mongo for the amazing. So yeah, we lost Mongo. We lost Sabu. Tremendously sad, man. His strength and resilience was unparalleled, an all-star athlete with a genuine soul. He was truly one of a kind. I know he will be watching from above as we pay tribute to him on this special night. See you there. So I guess Flair was in the building. Mercedes Moné lost the New Japan Strong Women's Championship to AZM at Resurgence. However, someone else got pinned, and Mercedes Hogan didn't even take the pin. Mina took the pin, and Mercedes is like, what? So she hasn't even lost still in any way. Not that I'm like, she has to lose, but, you know, it's really hard to convince people otherwise that even this is how you drop the title. This is super Hulk Hogan style, dude. Oh my God. I can't believe it. So Monty Brown, the alpha male, wow. And Jeff Jarrett reunited at Dynamite tonight. I fucking love this dude, man. He was like my favorite TNA wrestler for sure. And then they just fucked him up in WWE CW, you know? Shout him out, though. Here is Mercedes Moné, and I wanted to put this in the title. But, you know, sometimes there's not enough room for the Sia. And here's her interacting with fans. I've covered it here so much on this show, and I've broken down how she just seems bitter. She just hates her fucking fans. Meanwhile, she has this fan service. Pay me $99.99, and you can get a text message from me, the CEO of wrestling. And this is how, like, I don't know. Just look at this stank ass attitude around her fans.
You did
Get it right.
You did. You did.
Yeah, don't skip the photo. Skip the photo. Skip the
No, you
photo.
didn't.
You didn't get pinned.
No,
That wasn't
tell
you.
me she didn't get pinned.
She didn't get pinned. No, stand 10 toes down. Stand 10 toes down. What you say? No, not you. Yeah, tell him.
Mina lost. That's who lost.
He folded.
Mina lost, and you should have slapped her harder. You should have got slapped harder.
Is it almost midnight? I want this day to be over.
Yeah, I feel that. Get that title back.
Hold that bottle.
I don't know. I think she hates her fans deep down. The WWE ones. So again, AEW, man, they're struggling with their identity. Another thing we chronicle here on the show. There's a lot of people, do you notice in the IWC just saying like, I'm AEW free. Like I haven't even been watching AEW. Fuck it, you know? And I've been like that with collisions. I've been missing them here and there, not catching it all, not really caring. Like usually if I miss anything, I have to go back, and it's happened now. You know, it's starting to happen where you just don't give a shit. And now they got Sum 41. Shout them out. I love Sum 41, a good old Canadian band there, bud. And yeah, they chose You Wanted War, I guess, as the new. They keep changing the song every like 3 weeks, man. This isn't how you get people to watch stuff, you know? People need to like hear something and associate it with your show and stuff like that, you know? And they're just not going to do that when you change the song every week. A great song for a wrestling show, though. Honestly. If they had just gone with this. I don't know if this works as well for Dynamite, though. Their original shit, like Break the Rules, Dynamite, man, nah. Like, that was a good one as well. But I don't know. They should have went with this instead of the Pointer Sisters and just ran with it this whole time. I feel like for Collision, this would suit that better, you know, like a Saturday Night Wrestling show, this song. Not a bad song at all, but yeah, why? Why can't we just stay locked in? And so, you know, Becky Lynch isn't the only professional wrestler in Happy Gilmore 2. All Elite Wrestling's Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, MJF also has a role in the film, per Variety. And Becky Lynch had this to say about MJF. She said, you know, he's a very nice boy. Great chats. Of course, he knows he'd lose in a promo battle, but we had great chats. Unfortunately, it was way before this happened, but I feel like he would completely agree with everything that I'm saying about Lyra. And then MJF goes, agree with Bex fully on Lyra. She seems like a horrible person and clearly a gross poor. Enjoyed my time with the man on set. A very nice girl and an upstanding citizen. However, not too sure about her thoughts on a potential promo battle. Hashtag better than you. Yeah, I'm going to like and retweet that. That's good. I like that banter back and forth. MJF sort of like having a bit of a resurgence, you know, like kind of rebuilding with the Hurt Syndicate, trying to get his shit back under control and under wraps here. Happy Gilmore 2, I hope, is good. I heard it's, well, whatever. I don't like to shit on stuff before it comes out and try and sway people's opinions, but yeah. I haven't heard the best shit. Thekla has agreed to terms with AEW and is officially signed with the company. And one thing Tony's doing good, man, this little poison spider's like crawling up under the AEW logo. If you blink, you miss it type thing. But this spider's just been showing up, and I guess that's her gimmick. She's the toxic tarantula or whatever. I don't fucking know. Spider Girl. So, yeah, that's like her little tease of I'm going to be here soon. And that's cool, man. This lady's got a great look. Apparently WWE was eyeing her up. And hopefully she adds something to this women's division and they build her up properly and they run with her and they fucking build a star here. I don't know. Fingers crossed. What more can I say, you know? Here is Taz, who is synonymous with Sabu. Right, and I put the polls in the chat, youtube.com/@ProWrestleTimes and @ProWrestleClips if you're watching live. The polls in the chats are, and if you're on X, come on over to YouTube, you know, who is Sabu's best WWE opponent? Because we all know Yeah, he had crazy and Rob Van Dam I put in there, even though, you know, he teamed with him a bunch, and we know his crazy matches over the years, right? But like in WWE, he did have a run there, and in WWE CW, and he created some moments that live in infamy, like his table spot with John Cena through the announce table, the spot with Rey Mysterio through the table, right, with the DDT where the match was stopped. He wrestled Big Show a bunch and actually like fucking made Big Show work, you know, made it work for what they were trying to do with him. You know, Big Show was a guy, y'all got to remember that Paul Heyman was always like, if I had a federation, like give me Big Show. And I, you know, you can go back. There's interviews and Paul said that before. And, you know, Big Show was on Paulie's SmackDown as well, right? Like that's been one of his guys. Paul, of course, famously turned on Brock and went with Big Show. Big Show's a Heyman guy, you know, through and through. But where was I going with that? Yeah, but Sabu, though, he had some great matches with some guys in WWE when you really break it down. So I put in, you know, because everybody's bringing up, like, here's all of his ECW highlights and all that shit. Or here's him in old WWE. He was cooking in old WWF as well in the 90s, like when he was featured there a couple times. Once or twice, I think, right? So, yeah, who do you think his greatest WWE opponent was, right? Because that shit goes overlooked. And he gave us some moments, you know, some Sabu moments for sure. But Taz, man, synonymous with probably Sabu's greatest rival, his greatest opponent, you know? And so Taz, he says, my words are a little bit frazzled. Let's just listen to him try and get through remembering his friend, you know?
Hey guys, let's come to you with a heavy heart right now. As many of you might have heard, unfortunately, the legendary, the great Sabu.
Someone in chat says many ECW guys weren't big fans of the Sabu style matches, as RVD has shown. Yeah, and RVD and Sabu weren't a big fan of the other guys' style of matches. Famously, RVD tells stories like Sabu would sit in the corner and just be like, this guy's the shits, this guy's the shits, these guys are the shits. You know what I mean? So that went both ways, B, as Brendan Schaub would say, right? And so let's, listen to what Taz has got to say here.
Who has passed away last night, I believe, at the age of 60. Breaks my heart. I literally was just watching a video late last night. I was just messing around on YouTube, and then I saw an interview he did like a year ago, Sabu, and his sense of humor, just, I know it, like he had me laughing, and I was just watching this interview that was old. Like I was just thinking about him. It was just last night, literally last night. And then I got this news today from some ECW guys. Look, I would not have had the career that I have had and I've been blessed to have if it wasn't for Sabu. Like, that man got me over, and he didn't have to get me over, and he did. He did. We both debuted for ECW in 1993 in the ECW arena against each other. Many know that, but you don't know, like, he was the guy who was getting the big push. He was going to be Heyman.
Notice Taz said got me over, too. He got me over. He didn't have to get me over. Because why? Because I'm pretty sure Taz went over, like, Sabu didn't put Taz over, because I'm pretty sure Taz beat Sabu more times than not, right? So Sabu helped get him over, but didn't put him over. That's always a debate, right? It's two different things, but it's like the same thing. Anyways.
Heyman wanted to push the heck out of him, and rightfully so. My job was to come in for one match and wrestle him and put him over, and Sabu didn't have to let me
put him over there. There you go. So I guess Taz did put Sabu over. But how many times didn't they clash? Didn't they clash a handful of times?
Do anything in that match. He could have just, it was about him, not about.
Yeah, because wasn't his debut, Taz's debut, when he had hair and was barefoot, I'm pretty sure it was against Sabu. And then down the line, they became great rivals, right? So amazing shit.
Me, and he was so grateful to me, and I'll never forget it. Even though we became very deep rivalry, love-hate type thing, but more love than hate. He got me over. Like, he got me over every time we stepped in the ring or anything we did. Like, when I came back with my injury, like, without him, I would not have accomplished anything. But what Sabu has accomplished in his career has been amazing. This guy is amazing, and he's just a great-hearted soul. I'm going to miss him immensely. I feel horrible about this. Rest in peace, my brother Sabu. Please, rest in peace.
Yeah, man. Sabu was on Legion of Skanks podcast like a week ago. And he was just drinking pints of beer. And then, yeah, it's unfortunate. So here is the clip from Family Guy. Shout out Fox. Let's check it out.
The student you're matched up against today is Chris Griffin. He's not much of an athlete, so go easy on him. I wonder where he is anyway.
By God, it's the Griffinator from the top rope! Yeah! As a husky kid on the spectrum, this is the only kind of wrestling I'm into.
You don't have to explain yourself to me, Chris. As an adult whose bath mat is newspapers, I'm pretty into it too.
Yeah, and I mean, if people are going to, why is nobody pointing out? Why is nobody pointing out that basically, if you really want to get meta about the joke, he puts an Excalibur mask on and is like, I'm into it too, after they just called AEW fans fat autists, basically, right? Am I wrong about that? He puts an Excalibur mask on. Oh, it's a call to an AEW wrestler. So he's like, this is the only kind of wrestling I like. So if anything, that was like a diss at AEW, if people want to break it down any type of way. If you want to be meta and be like, oh, well, it's an AEW mask, it's alluding to AEW. If that's how people want to play that, okay. That was a diss to AEW on Family Guy. It's the only way to interpret that. And pro wrestling fans in general at the start. But then when he puts the Excalibur mask on, then he's like, I'm into it too. It's like, well, that's a shot directly at AEW. So I tweeted out, we had a great discussion with Awful Wrestling about, AEW's pushing out their own book, their own bullshit revisionist history book. And I tweeted out, AEW's book is bullshit if Cody and Brandy Rhodes weren't interviewed for it. And then Teal Rhodes liked that shit. Right? So it's just facts, man. So Ricochet hopes he never returns to WWE again. Okay. Good riddance, I guess. I don't think anybody wants him back, especially after recently. So AEW Dynamite did 629,000, NXT did 652, and Neckbeard says, but hey, I'm sure Dynamite got another 500,000 viewers on Max. I'm also sure that this can be proven, and it's not just made up based on speculation. Yeah, those Max numbers are complete bullshit on so many fucking levels, and yeah, you guys will see over the next... I'm telling you, 2026 is going to be insane for WBD. So Julian Weeks says, I'm crying because Javon cooks Ricochet. We'll circle back to that, okay? So Mercedes Monea says that she wants to wrestle Athena. And she says, that's what I've been dreaming about. Maina eventing all in. This is our Super Bowl. This is our AEW, of course. Biggest pay-per-view of the year. And you're talking to the biggest star in all of professional wrestling. In all of women's wrestling. I put women's wrestling on the map. To do that in Texas. Well, I am the Beyonce of wrestling. How many things of wrestling are you? I have a list. And I cannot wait to show everybody not only my dance, my gear, my new do, my outfit, my look. See, she actually says that shit. Just the match alone. And she told that to Denise Salcedo. Right? So she dropped the one belt, just my look and everything. And so Ricochet's wrestling Zach Gowen. So Montez Ford takes a dude's leg. It goes viral. Ricochet's like, I'll do that. Aha. And then he fucking wrestles Zach Gowen, I guess, and took his leg. And yes, Zach Gowen, the guy from the Mr. America angle on SmackDown all those 20 years ago. Yeah, that dude. Right? And so shout him out for getting a payday and shit. That angle got so much heat, like that whole storyline when Brock was like F5ing him and bloodying him up and F5ing his one leg into the post and shit. Because they did such a good job of building up Brock as like when he F5s you into the ring post, your leg was cooked. And Zach only had one leg, and that got so much heat with me as a kid. But yeah, I was a fucking kid, so this is cool, I guess. Who watched this? You all let me know. This is on the 14th, actually, in a couple days, so I'll be excited to check that out. We'll be watching it live, right? AEW's Josh Alexander is the first ever Maple Leaf Pro Canadian champion. He won a 20-man gauntlet, so shout him out. MLP Canadian heavyweight champ there. More on Ricochet. So he got cooked by Javon Evans, and he also had this to say. Had a signing all day today in Lodi, California. Hundreds of people. Funny thing, no one said I made a mistake and that my career is in the dumps. No one mentioned anything negative at all, actually. Weird. It's just bait for people to react to. This is like AIR gold level shit. And then he's like, don't worry, big bro. Next time you come to Detroit, I'll speak up. And then Ricochet's like, hopefully I never have to come back to that shit town. Jeepers. I think people just know you're a cunt now. Ricochet goes, why? Because I'm calling out the toxic tribalists like you, people who would never do shit in real life. Pussy ass boy. Oh, man, he's right. People won't do shit, but I don't know, man. The wrong one. You just never know. You just never know. And, like, I don't know what Ricochet trains. Maybe he knows jujitsu and shit, but, like, bro, I don't know if those cartwheels and shit, dude, gonna do too much. Ricochet just stole Zach Gowen's leg, so... I mean, why are they always doing stuff after WWE does the stuff? You guys know what I mean? Like Montez Ford grabs a dude's leg and hits someone. It goes viral. Then all of a sudden, like a week later, Tony's like, I know, call Zach Gowen. We'll do it better. You know? I don't get it, man. But honestly, good for Ricochet. He's really getting heat on him. I just don't know if this is the kind of heat where people will welcome you back when you try and do that babyface shit eventually, you know? So someone posted, this is from Wrestling News Co. And maybe they fucking blocked me. I don't know. They've fallen off so hard, but they posted this thing, and I think they're a UK media thing, so I'm sure Bruv just reached out to them and was like, Bruv, block this cunt, bruv. Right? But it was like Will Ospreay is quoted saying, I hate WWE, I hate the hard cam, bruv. And I quote tweeted it, and I was like, Ospreay hates the hard cam because there's no fucking people on that side of the buildings he wrestles in, bruv. And yeah, that shit, I don't know if I'm blocked or that was deleted or what. But there's an MSN.com article as well saying that WBD likely headed towards a massive breakup. Hate it or love it, I speak the truth. And you guys can check out this article. Okay, WBD is like 38 billion in debt or some shit. Right, and their shares climb as CNN parent company weighs splitting off cable assets. Right, and it surged more than 4% on the news. But why? Can we just explain why real quick? It's because Trump and all the shit he's doing. Right, he's doing crazy. He always does. That guy does a lot of shit. you know, love or hate him, whatever. I'm not in America, so I don't give a shit. I don't get political or whatever. But it seems like he's always doing stuff, like whether he's signing a thing or going here and talking to this guy or doing this, whatever, you know? And that's why the news surges. You guys know that. The TV ratings and shit for the news surges when Trump's in office. And so that's why, man. But CNBC reported Thursday as a media companies explore WBD shares surge more than 4%. Warner Bros. Discovery missed first quarter revenue estimates. And yeah, it's, I don't know. They're going to break it down. So if this Superman shit doesn't go off well for them, they might sell DC rights and stuff over to Disney or something, you know, which like I don't want, but at the same time, it might happen. I'm not saying that's going to happen for sure, but this is stuff I've been talking about for a long time. If it interests you, if you guys go way back in PWT, I was like, dude, in 1 year, you're going to see like layoffs at WBD. Go back and like with DC, there's big layoffs coming and shit. It happened, right? Their comic book offices, they shrunk down and everything. This is a while back. And so just speaking from that aspect of it and just seeing what, you know, Zaslav's been saying himself, like about Max and what kind of content they want on there. I'm not saying this is a haha at AEW, but it's just the fact of the matter. Okay. Max is not pulling in numbers and shit that these folks are trying to have people believe. Sting wanted to go out with a bang. So Sting talked about his retirement on his AEW run, and he says, it was fun going through tables and jumping off a balcony. It was just great. I think that was a Tony Khan quote that got mixed up in translation there. Sting's just reading off a card that Tony Khan wrote him. It was fun going through tables and jumping off a balcony. It was just great. What the fuck? Thank God he didn't hurt himself like Edge, though. So Ricochet, though, got cooked by Javon Evans. Right? We've talked about Ricochet. He's been a bit of a through line. And there were a couple back and forths. Back and forth. Check out my gravel pit. And I can't remember where the rest is. I thought I had the rest bookmarked, dude. It is what it is, man. But basically, Ricochet, and I will pull it up. Ricochet, Javon Evans. Here we go. So we will share this tab here. And so Ricochet, someone brings up a list of like high flyers and someone's like, oh, what about Javon Evans? And Ricochet's like, I'd squash him. And then Javon goes, my bad. I just got done training at the Performance Center under Shawn Michaels, something that you don't have or do, but I bet yo brown egg head ass would squash me if Tony told you to. Much love, OG. Damn. And then Ricochet's like, brother, I was learning from Shawn Michaels when you was like 12, then went on to become multiple-time champion. Let me know when you win one, little boy. And yeah, if Tony asked me, I'd definitely beat your ass, huh? Let's fucking go. I love this, man. I love this back and forth right here. I definitely beat your ass, huh? I'll beat that ass, ho. I'll beat that ass, ho. You guys hear that song? So Javon goes, you learned from HBK when I was 12 and became a multiple-time champion. Now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead. Oh, shit.
Best guy is Tony Khan.
Shit. Oh, my goodness. Oh, shit. For a crackhead, that's so ruthless. Talk about an upgrade, am I right? Damn. And then Javon's like, sounds like Mr. Khan isn't giving you enough attention, so you had to come for a successful-ass youngin'. You're giving me the most views on my posts, and I'm finally helping you get the most attention you've ever had in your career. Oh, love. Oh, my God. There's a lot of sickos melting down, too, being like, oh, Javon is he just came off like a child and blah, blah, blah. It's like he is. He's like 19. You fucking idiots. The worst part about X is everybody acting like they've never done anything bad in their life ever. You know, they're just all infallible. You have to dissect every fiber and stitch and piece of fabric of every person. And if one thing's off kill, it's just so judgmental and cunty. I've dropped like 4 of those this show. Get your super chats. I'm going to check in with chat right away, but we're getting yellow flag today. This is pretty wild, though. There's some people like, oh, he better not ever get released from WWE. I don't think they will release him. They put him in so many like big positions for his level or whatever. But that is hilarious. The back and forth. Ricochet's honestly great, too. I know some people are mad at him. I love him trolling people and shit. I do think it's funny. I get a kick out of it. And yeah, moving along here. I think we got 1 or 2 left in AEW news. We got 1 left here. Here's Harley Cameron and Anna Jay, and they're a great pairing together for obvious reasons. There's Cass.
Anna, look, I just wanted to let you know that you did great out there, okay? And I know it didn't turn out, how we planned, but I just want you to know I'm going to stick beside you. And I mean, you look better than ever. I don't know about these khaki pants, and we're going to have to shave your legs. But I want you to know that I think this alliance is fantastic.
Chloe,
And
where have you been? I've been looking for you.
Anna, you're here. And whose fat ass is this?
Yes.
Who's Anna? Where are you guys?
Good for you, sir.
If you're here, then whose fat ass is this? Just her delivery's so good.
What in the...
And they didn't go for like the cheap fart joke or anything, right? That's a good bit right there. Harley Cameron's amazing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was great. The best guy's Tony Khan. And that was AEW news. So we are going to get into some IWC sickos, I think is the way to go. Possibly. I think we got some funny ones here. We do. But I'm going to check in with chat. Thank you, everybody, for standing by while I got through that segment. Okay. So I got that lined up. All right, ladies and germs. Let me check in with chat. Say hello to Mr. Khan there. Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17 for 5 says, my dad said Ricochet needs cool down from X before someone will try to fight him or worse. Yeah, I've been saying that. Sorry, is StreamYard acting buggy? It's just so buggy all of a sudden on my end. Yeah, Ricochet, the problem is that, like, when you start challenging people to fights and shit or whatever, I just don't know if that's wise, to ever really do. Especially when you have money like that, Dude stubs his toe and then just says you beat him up or something, and then it's fucking America. You guys sue each other all the time for crazy ass reasons. Maddie for 5 says the Family Guy crossover was like looking for an Easter egg and finding it's hard boiled. Right. It wasn't even a crossover. That was never the intention. The intention was never, oh, look, AEW's being featured in Family Guy. You know what I mean? The intention was, we just need a lucha mask, and here was the inspiration. Here's what we based it off of. And yeah, it's cool. No one will sue us. Like, Excalibur's not going to try and sue Family Guy for using his likeness or whatever, if he's even has a trademarked. So, and that's Cole Cabana's brother, who's the director. So obviously he's like, hey, we need or maybe his brother watches AEW or whatever. Maybe he's friends with Excalibur too. Who fucking knows? But either way, it was never an AEW crossover. However, that's how Cole Cabana got people talking about it, and it was smart. It got the point across. Like, the way he played it was smart because it made people think that's what it was or it was going to be, Wolverine DX for 10 says, with that comment and never wanting to lose, Monea is the only one who can be called Hogana. Not Becky, not Charlotte, not even Hogan's daughter if she come back in wrestling. Well, that's if she hits the leg drop, dude. That's if she hits the big boot and the Brooke leg drop, brother. Yeah, Wolverine. That was a pretty bad finish. I agree. That was very Hogan of her to like not take an L there, but drop the title, but then she can still get it back down the line. She gets her rematch, dude. Sabu's best opponent was Taz. Yeah, absolutely. Jimmy B for 2. Abso-fucking-lutely it was. Let's acknowledge me. Guys, consider becoming a member. It's 99 cents. Consider gifting a membership, hitting like, hitting subscribe. If you're over on X, there's well over 300 watching. If you're with X included, if you're over on X, consider coming on over to YouTube as well and hitting subscribe, checking me out. And if you're on YouTube, check me out on X. Follow me over there. Should we get into some fucking sickos, man? We might as well. We might as well. And because it is time. Oh, fuck. We need to get the audio. Click in here. And it's time for nobody's favorite segment. And it is called the Sicko Segment. So, Triple H's thoughts responded to Wrestling Mark here, who says, have WWE's optics and general perception ever been this low? And this Wrestling Mark 16, like, was on his other account, I guess. He has this other account. I forget what the fuck it's called, but he, like, couldn't help himself. He has me blocked, right? But he couldn't help himself. He saw something, because he probably just stalks my shit, so I was in his other algorithm on his other Twitter. And so he's using like his other Twitter that's not wrestling based to like come at me about wrestling, about AEWubs. And it was pretty cute. But I don't know if the optics have been lower on WWE, probably like before your time, you dumbass, you know, like the steroid trial and shit like that. I bet the optics were way lower. Maybe when Vince was pooping on people, allegedly, right? I think maybe optics were a bit lower. But anyways, you gotta love receipts. So here's this AEW Cero Miedo goofball, and who wrestlers have openly been like, you're a fucking idiot. But he's like, bro, respectfully, you're fat, so I don't even care for your opinion. Chubba chub chub chub. That's kind of funny. Sorry. I'm immature. What can I say? Hey, man, the Goonies, the Truffle Shop. That's funny, bro. Come on. You're chatting a whole load of nonsense, McTubby. It's just such like, if you get angry at that dude saying that to you, come on, that's just funny. You got to laugh at that. And then Ace Humphries like, Charlotte Flair looks terrible. Why did she need to have surgery? And then both these goobers are like, Ace Humphries like, why people would body shame a wrestler like Cora Jade who's worked hard and came back from injury is insane. And then this guy here, both of them, these two chuckle fucks together. Downright disgusting, bro. I'm glad she's spoken out about it, but hey, the WWE fans are already defending it as per usual. And then they wonder why there's so much tribalism in wrestling. How can you defend body shaming? How? Especially when it's come from the source itself. So I called out the Ace Humphries guy as well for some other, like him body shaming or whatever, making fun of Charlotte's looks, and then another instance of this, and then he just blocked me right away. It is what it is. I don't care. I'm happy that the dude's blocked me, you know? Sickos like this is the type of shit, like they're just saying anything. So once you identify that, so I bring it to the show. Right? Like this guy's feigning fucking outrage. This is absolutely disgusting. No one should be body shaming anyone, especially not your bosses and co-workers. Absolutely disgusting work from the WWE. Whoever is behind it should be ashamed of themselves. I wonder how many other people are going through this letter too. Whatever. So when people show you, like they're just say whatever, you know, you just mute or block or whatever the fuck. That's the way to go about it. So, Fluteless Aggression had this to say. Fluteless Aggression. I mean, pretty cool. Pretty cool name. Pretty sweet guy. Let's just But they had this dumb shit to say here. So, WWE pulled Jeff Cobb early, forcing New Japan to change the title match for Duntaku, and still haven't used him. And they saved him for Backlash. This was 6 days ago. It's like, yeah, they saved him for Backlash, bro. And I wrote, he's on vacation taking a minute before he dives back into the most work of his life. Jesus, let the man live. Great name, bad take, you know? So Pro Wrestle Counselor posts this. He says, why do all these AEW Freakazoid weirdos sound like their balls haven't dropped? And this is Righteous Reg. So you guys know Righteous Reg. He's on one of these pods or whatever. And he's like saying this under his breath. Like, listen to how he won't fucking even say this out loud. 25 greatest moments in wrestling history. Psst. Hey, guys. Psst. Guys. Greatest moments in wrestling history. No AEW. Fuck this man. Fuck this. Dude won't even say it with his whole chest.
25 greatest moments in wrestling history. My ass. This is World Wrestling Entertainment, you fuckers. 25
This
greatest.
is World Wrestling Entertainment. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. You fuckers. Hey. Craziness. Moving along. So CM Punk Instagrams out, stop touching strangers in public. You fucking sickos. Not that he should have to say that. So here is Matt Hardy. And he tweets out, just learned someone called the Carolina Cockroach from TikTok posted these videos of Jeff and I. And some person just like followed them around the airport. Right? With the song, oh, nothing wrong with me. And it's like, it seems like there's definitely something wrong with you. You know? So they just, and then here, Jeff being, I don't know who this gentleman is either, but Jeff being nice to him. But it seems like this guy's just marking out like, oh, you remember TLC and shit? Oh, I'm such a big fan. Like walking alongside him, and this dude's just like stalking them from behind. Like, go ask for a picture, you fucking weirdo. And then this dude here, like showing Jeff Hardy something on his phone. And Jeff's probably just like, fuck, man, I just want to go. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. It looks like their bags are matching. So maybe, yeah. So, like, I don't know. I don't want to stalk them out. Stop. We're just here stalking out their lives, too. But even Matt's like, oh, hey, what's up, guy? And he's just, like, filming him. Like, doesn't go, hey, dude. And how does he keep, like, getting ahead of him? Like, why is he just watching him? Maybe the person genuinely, like, maybe they're have like a problem. Oh God, I'm so not politically correct. You know, maybe they there's something fucking wrong with these guys. Oh, you know, maybe there's they have like a, what's the word? I don't want to say handicap, but you guys know what I'm saying? Like maybe this is a person who has like autism or so. I don't want to just throw like autism, right? People just throw that around these days, but maybe it's something like that too, where they just don't have good like social whatever the fuck. And this is what, you know, I'm not going to rule that out either before we know, but definitely creepy and weird. So AEW Defender responds to Javon Evans versus Ricochet and goes, well, I'll officially never like this guy. You see where those dumbass copy and paste insults get you? Recycled jokes is all the bitches around here got. Recycled jokes. You don't have any jokes, Defender. Here's the thing. Javon would slap the piss out of this guy. Why are you calling him a bitch? You're that booty hole hurt over Ricochet. And these are the sick freaks who go, oh, you fucking fed sucker, bootlicker. Look how booty hole hurt you are over Ricochet getting dissed by another wrestler. And Ricochet was egging him on like to get a back and forth going. And you're that much of a mark. You're like, oh, recycled jokes is all the bitches. You're calling wrestlers bitches now. This is what I mean. You just don't. I will make fun. I will keep it 100% real. I will do impressions and I will shoot straight with you guys on match quality, promo quality, whatever. I don't go and call wrestlers bitches and pussies and stuff, man. It's so cringe. around here and it's really, really old. What copy and paste? He called him a crackhead. I've never heard someone call Tony a crack. They call him a fucking cokehead all the time. Okay, where's the copy and paste jokes? Right? In front of 2,000 people, that's being generous, man. It's like more like 1,200. And yeah, I just quote tweeted this and I was like, Javon would slap the shit out of Defender, and these sickos have 65 IQs and have never actually dealt with the repercussions calling other men bitches to their faces. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, Elena Black says, hit me up on Elena Black at Yahoo. And then people start DMing her or like emailing her, and she goes, didn't think I had to clarify, but this is for bookings and inquiries only, you weird ass insensitive fucks. So what are people sending her, like dick pics and shit? You sickos. You sickos. What? God damn. So Sean Ross Sapp, you know, he puts this somewhere. Is this in a Discord that you got to pay to be in or whatever, behind the paywall, Fightful Select? But woof, Ricochet really trolled a guy into getting media class for the whole PC. So after the Javon Evans Ricochet fight, you know, the dirt sheets come out and say, oh, per Fightful and SRS, there's media training, right? So he flat out told people this somewhere. He messaged, oh, Ricochet really trolled a guy into getting media class for all of the PC. Well, here's the thing. All of the PC already gets media class. What the fuck does that, bro? They already get that. They already get media training. They already get training on how to act and cut promos and do everything, how to work a camera and shit. So what are we talking about here? Media class. Such a vague fucking thing. But anyways, Sapp puts this out more publicly. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful, right? So this is more public thing. He goes, to make it clear, I never reported that WWE is undergoing media training as a result of yesterday's tweets. So he wants to play this game where you didn't report shit, but then you just said it to people as if it was factual in a fucking private thing where they pay you to be there, or where is that? That's pretty crazy. And I don't know. I'll probably get psychotic DMs of it. No, I'm not trying to drum up shit, but come on now. What do we got to fucking are we playing semantics? I'm just a gossiper who sells dick pills. Okay. Nixon Newell had this to say about WWE releases. She goes, imagine thinking you got a sick clap back for a tweet by saying it's just business. Or this is towards the wackos and sickos, because she had, you know, we covered it on the show. She's like, imagine being fired from this company or whatever. That's ruthless what they did. So Nixon Newell Tegan Knox says, imagine thinking you've got a sick clap back for a tweet by saying it's just business. Sure, if you're trying to kill it. Far too many crazy talented people let go. But I digress. I'm going to enjoy watching these superstars kill it wherever they end up. Yeah, a lot of people do that whole like, well, it's just business thing. And I get that too. Like, I don't give a fuck if, well, no, I do. Like, Jesus Christ, man. How do we, it's the most successful tour of all time, music tour of all time. How do you measure that? Well, because they sold the most tickets and it drew the most and da-da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? There's ways to measure these things. So I just boil it down to that. I don't give a fuck if billionaires get richer, and I don't, and I do, and I understand it's just business, but like when, and I'm not equating, this could be a false equivalency here, but it's like, there's kids in sweatshops making Nikes. We all wear Nikes and, it's just business, It's harsh. It's the harsh realities of the world. And I know that's like a very big extreme, but people getting fired, that's the reality of the world. Right. And I do understand that aspect of it, but there's some people who just are like, well, it's the bottom line. And it's like, well, okay. also shit. That's why some of these wackos, they get mad when I've been criticizing WWE lately. Some of it, it's like it can't be all good all the time, even though they're sellouts. I'm allowed to like artistically break down why the fuck the women's tag division's getting fucked up, or why this I feel wasn't, but you know, I'm allowed to do that too. It's not just all good all the time, and even if business is good, that doesn't excuse if I want to make like an artistic critique about something. You know what I mean? You guys get where I'm coming from. But anyways, Pro Wrestling Counselor says, so Tuke Timbo is one of your freakazoids. So let's see this. I don't even know what this is. Typical behavior from the WWE MAGA fan base. Oh yeah, I do know what this is. So Tuke Timbo, you know, calling WWE MAGA, the MAGA company, the MAGA fan base. Here's Tuke. He's a MAGA guy. Oh, really? A younger Trump standing? And this isn't like an L. Oh, you're a MAGA guy? I don't give a fuck. That's not what the L. The L is the hypocrisy. Okay? So he goes, so he's a Trump guy. He's like, oh, really? A younger Trump standing next to an older Epstein? Don't start defending Epstein, people, now. Donald Trump is 12 years older than Epstein. Trump only needs 3 more. Trump is destroying her. So he's a Trump guy, but now, so again, Tuke Timbo, everyone now go on your Twitters and block him. Right? Look, he's full in Cope harder. He wants Trump to beat Kamala, right? And I'm not a Trump supporter, but okay. So that's what he said to somebody who called him out. And he even just bold-faced lied. So people like that, you block them. That's eliminated now. You're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not allowed to be involved in any conversations. You're no longer taken serious. You're a fucking clown, period. Boom, right there. So that's why we do this, right? With some of these acts, we're like, there you go. You give them the axe, right? It's like nothing you ever say again. And why is it the most prominent of the sicko accounts are like this? Now, some people might say, well, Phil, there's wacko accounts that do the same shit. Okay, and I'll call them out. We fucking do it here too. I call them the wackos. I don't think that's stuck yet, but one day everyone will start doing that too. Trust me. So Tony Khan's All-Star booking gives AEW Dynamite a boost in the numbers. And yeah, the All-Star 8-man tag actually lost 100,000 viewers or whatever. So people pointed out how that's just like a shill article. So the okay, the Titan J, we've covered him on the show. Here's him. We have him actually wrestling. Are you guys ready? We have this dude actually fucking wrestling. Okay, we got to check out this clip. Look how fucking bad he is. So for those of you unaware, this guy, you know, he photoshops himself in pictures in front of the PC. He says he knows these wrestlers. He photoshopped himself on planes and shit, saying he faked a contract and faked emails from them. And then he went on a racial tirade saying the N-word and stuff like this. And people were like trying to cancel him and shit. He faked his death, right? And took a picture of himself laying on the ground like he was pretend OD'd, and then pretended to be his grandma, like, oh, you guys don't even care. But everyone knew he was just faking. It's so funny. And so here he is actually wrestling. This is what it looks like. And it's funny that someone booked him. I don't know. That shit's funny, man. Shout out Titan J. You should come on the show. So, yeah, we covered this. AJ Styles was hacked by a crypto bro who says, like, effing N-word and, like, says Chris Benoit, Luigi Mangione, and all this stuff. Starts talking about oh, man, I'm not even saying any of that. Tweeting at Kanye West, who's lost his fucking mind. The Titan J. It gets real. So I tweeted this out. I screen grabbed these and said, Rob Viper Needs a therapist and a juice box. So Rob Viper says, that Javon Evans tweet was extremely sad to read. Maybe he needs it. Okay, here, let me see actually really quick. Do I have a clip? Okay, no. So Rob Viper says, that Javon Evans tweet was extremely sad to read. Maybe he needs a talk from some loved ones. I can't even chalk it up to a young, dumb kid who has no concept of insulting the only man in the industry who will give you negotiating power over the course of your career. The real sad part is the cult mentality of WWE. He truly believes he's going to work there the rest of his life, mere days after similar folks who were told we are family, found out it wasn't true. This is how a cult operates. It's just projection. This is how a cult operates, dude. That's full-blown projection. What you're doing is how a cult operates, defending your fucking leader. Maybe it's time to investigate the Orlando facility. This is literally so stupid. This isn't even one of these NIL recruits who don't know any better. This kid worked AEW. He got paid money at a time he likely really needed money. Yeah, you're a piece of shit, Rob Viper. By the same person he is now calling names. It's gross, indoctrinated behavior that needs to be investigated. What a goofball this guy is. What a full-blown redact, man. And it's full-blown protection, I keep saying. Projection. It's projection. And I've covered it ad nauseum on this show. It's what they do, man. It seems he deleted the tweet, but that shit is out there forever. Don't they have a class there that teaches you about this stuff? I'm sure he'll get a pat on the back from Uncle Sean tomorrow. And feel good about himself. A normal place of work would react quite differently. Insane, Cope. So more SRS. He requests for Fightful to be banned as a source on this subreddit, the squared circle sub or whatever it is. And Sean Rossap says, I was reminded why I got off Reddit today. One of their users took a comment from a Discord not intended for aggregation. Do not aggregate. That nobody in that Discord took seriously. Bro, it doesn't matter. Holy fuck, man. Oh my God, Sean, that doesn't matter. Nobody took it seriously. So you're a mind reader? Why did it get leaked out and people ran with it then? Because someone took it seriously, Sean. Jesus Christ, man. So you threw it in there as a joke? So you were lying then. So you just lied to your Discord people like Elbu to try and get them to pay you to come leak them stuff, but none of them took that seriously. But it's just such like bullshit, man, all the time. Just be upfront about it. Then when I clarified, a bunch of people in there got mad. There, THERE, got mad, and right, he wrote THEIR, got big mad, and acted like I'm not allowed to joke or be sarcastic with my own friends in my own Discord. So now you're a jokester. So Sean, when I say what I'm doing is jokes, and you get big mad, now it's crazy, bro. Now you're SNL trying to be SNL, right? I swear that stuck with him. I told him that in a comment once under one of my videos. Sean was freaking out. And I was like, bro, you're CNN. That's how people perceive you. I'm SNL. That's the difference, right? But yeah, coupled with the fact that people last year, they were doing weird things, like claiming I was lying about missing the Royal Rumble. I was spending my grandmother's last birthday with her. I would much prefer if the platform just outright banned Fightful stories and news, since so many people there seem to hate me or claim we're not reliable. Yeah, well, I'll agree with Sean on one thing, and I'll give him this. Reddit is red-tarded, man. Let's be honest, dude. Reddit is a mindfuck. Yeah, so this was Ace Humphreys. We covered that, right? He blocked me. Never fails. He was body shaming. So John Alba gets into it a bit with Raj Giri, sorry. So Raj Giri's like, I've really felt the past year that TNA is a few top stars and a good TV deal away from making a serious bid to becoming the #2 company in the U.S. And then Alba's like this pompous fuck. He's like, I think TNA is on the right path to and doing a lot of things that will help it grow. The partnership with WWE has been beneficial. It's also nowhere close to the size of AEW, by virtually any metric, and no media rights deal is going to come anywhere close to what AEW pulls. And then Elvis says, not to mention a lot of the TNA roster isn't even on a full-time livable wage deal. A lot are per appearance or have date allocation. And I quote tweeted that, and I said, same with AEW. So a lot of them are just per appearance and don't make livable and are per like date allocation and stuff. But Raj Giri says it definitely isn't, but AEW wasn't close to WWE in any metric in 2020, yet they were knocking on their door in 2021. Whatever happened to the AEW Fox deal? Let's say hypothetically TNA gets a deal on FX and WWE wants to help them grow to combat AEW, so they send Punk on a 3-month run. Does it start beating Collision on cable? He wrote Collins. It's very likely. Do I see any of this happening? No. Is it impossible? Whatever. So they're going back and forth. Alba's just a fucking sicko. He's just trying to work himself into a job. So this guy here, Kefas, says, I wanted to apologize to everyone that I offended in the IWC that has also wished violence on me about my comments on the WWE releases over the last couple of days. I'm sorry that I didn't speak out sooner against some of these jobbers. Jesus. WWE will be a better place without most of them because we won't be forced to sit through 15-minute matches pretending we were entertained by them. And for those mentally ill IWC wokeists that have been giving me violent threats, man, what are you going to beat me with? Your dildos? Just don't call out the Fildos, dude. You don't want them on your ass. Pause. So here's Righteous Reg again. I mean, it might be that. I mean, like,
Just made the list.
We'll keep an eye. But Righteous Reg has this to say about Backlash. And this was 6 hours, I think, before it went down. And it just backfired after that ending for sure.
Yeah, I've been trying to think while you were talking if I've been less interested in the WWE main event in the last 5 years, and probably not. Randy Orton and fucking John Cena for the WWE champion. You guys, WWE fans should be rioting. They should be outside of WWE headquarters with pitchforks and fire. What the?
It's the last time you'll ever see it. If you said it's the last time Ospreay and Kenny Omega will ever get to wrestle, you would be marking out and like, but it's the last time ever. Right? Like, these guys have no value in the fact that there's only a wrestling business because of John Cena and Randy Orton in the 2010s and a little bit before that.
The fuck? It's 2025, you guys. This is a Raw main event at best.
A Raw main event
Horrible.
at best. The last time these people are ever linking up, Cena and Orton. The last time those dudes are ever wrestling again. Ever. And he's saying it's a Raw main event at best. These are the bad faith grifters on Fightful.com saying this bullshit. This is bad faith grifting. Okay?
I can't believe they're subjecting you guys to watching this. You should be offended. Nobody's mad about this. People are like, that's great. This is great. John Cena.
I can't believe they're subjecting you guys. See, here's the problem. Fightful.com, a show called Grapsody. No, if this guy is sitting here going, you guys, they're subjecting you guys like it's us versus them. Call this the AEW show. And then just have people who like AEW and shit on WWE. But instead, they play this like we're Grapsody and we're, you know, it's like The Observer. We're all just analyzing it neutrally. Like, you're fucking not.
And then one of the worst matches I've seen in history.
People say Fightful isn't reliable. Gee, I wonder why, Sean.
Just a few weeks ago against Cody Rhodes, and they're going to put him against the second slowest guy in the fucking company. This is going to be dog shit awful. Dog shit.
I will
dog
say,
shit.
I will say devil's advocate here. Orton did beat a champion at WrestleMania. So he technically earned a title shot against another champion.
I don't know, man. I just don't think those are wrestling fans. Motherfuckers, those are the type of motherfuckers that'll be like, you're not a wrestling fan. if you don't watch other, and it's like, I think you're not a wrestling fan, dude. If you can't appreciate Cena and Orton for the last time ever. Whew. So here's a conspiracy theory. We'll hit a little X-Files here. Well, let's see where we're at here. Yeah, we're almost done, sickos. Then I'll check in with chat. Let's hit a X-Files for this gentleman who has a conspiracy theory about WWE.
Why does AEW get so much hate? Every time they trend, it's never about the show. It's always people dogging the product, calling it a failure.
The show is the product.
Constantly saying it's falling off. But here's the thing, WWE wasn't always perfect either.
It's not about always being perfect. It's about it falling off.
Go back and watch some of those early 2010s Raws. Dead crowds, bad story.
We know. We begged for it to go away, and then it went away.
Lines, hit or miss matches. Yet people gave WWE the grace to evolve. So why?
Yes, when they evolved finally. So when Tony Khan evolves, we will give him the grace to evolve. He's not evolving. He's doing old WWE shit with old WWE wrestlers.
Why doesn't AEW get the same? They've even made really good changes lately. Smaller venues, signing actual...
Not consistent, smaller venues. It's not consistent. This guy says signing actual stars. They've always signed stars, quote unquote. Since day one when Moxley showed up and Jericho showed up, they've always signed perceived stars, and then they fucked them up and fumbled them, and they haven't created one since. Signing stars isn't the answer. Okay?
Stars, and now finally better storytelling.
And now finally better storytelling. How? In what way is the storytelling better? That's a fallacy. Tony Khan's been cooked. No. Nope. There's not one story. Maybe MJF hurt business, but that just felt so, that also just feels so random to me every time I see them as well. It just feels so random.
You can literally see the effort. Some fans even say Vince McMahon's behind the scenes running the show, yet the hate just keeps coming. So here's my question.
Vince is behind the scenes running AEW? Yeah, pal. Get Tony Khan on the phone. Okay, Vince, we can't let anybody know about this. Well, just don't text me, pal. Are we taking my plane or yours?
What's the real issue y'all have with AEW? Is it the
Does your plane have a diva in it? No, but Dave Meltzer's there.
Roster, the vibe, Tony Khan? Let's actually talk about it, because honestly, the constant hate starting to feel more like an agenda instead of critique.
An agenda? I don't think it's an agenda, bro. No, I'm just nitpicking now. So Ace Humphrey says, this behavior with WWE is ridiculous, and especially when AEW All In is on the same date, because WWE is potentially looking at the weekend of July 12th to host Evolution 2 in Atlanta on the same day as All In Texas. And WrestleGraph says, how dare WWE do an all-women show and ruin the made-up narrative about women in WWE? And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our sicko segment. I thought that one was good right there, right? I've been curating it way better. We don't do them every show, and they're way more, it's curated way better, right? Where we get a good balance of fools and then just like fun stuff. Some of that was fun, you know? I don't even know what we have. We got WWE news. Let me check the times and everything. We've got WWE news, and yeah, so let me check in with chat here is what I need to do. First and foremost. So Scott Woodford has been a member for 3 months. That is amazing. Kenneth Douglas has been a member for months. RIP to the legend, Sabu. I don't know why I gave him Super Friends, but you're right. RIP. Maddie for 2 says, Phil, you cooked Osprey with that hard cam comment. Yeah, bro. Yeah, bruv. For real, though. And then that shit got deleted from Wrestling News Co. Right? And they've fallen off so fucking hard. And they're a UK outlet, so it wouldn't shock me if bruv knew them and Yeah, I did cook them. It's like, I don't like the hard cam, bruv. It's like, yeah, because you can't look over there. You're not allowed to perform to that side of the building because there's nobody sitting there. So it's just the truth, man. Shadow Bat, imagine saying that. I don't like the hard cam. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? This is show business, right? You want to go do an indie. Like, that's what they want to do. They want to wrestle indies. Go do that. No, in Japan, bruv, it's different, bruv. All right. Shadow Bat Ash for 5 says pro wrestling media journalism will be much better when people like SRS and Meltzer retire and step down. I don't think SRS even needs to retire. It's just I don't know. I dissected it. It's just the whole like no one applies the same logic to themselves. Everybody's infallible. No one's ever made a mistake. Shadow Badass for 2 says it's crazy how all Fightful employees think the same. Well, that's because exactly birds of a feather flock together, and they are just creating their bubble, and that's what the narrative is. And they're in this bubble, and they don't realize like this is why people call you not reliable. And if you can't understand this aspect when we point this shit out, then you aren't being objective. That's all it is. And I don't care if you call yourself AEW Shill News, right? You could call it that, but just be that. Well, that's not what we do. Well, it fucking seems like that's what you guys are doing. And that guy just said, these guys are getting a WWE fan. Like I feel bad for y'all, man. I'm not in that group. That's what dude's saying. Okay. And his show's called Grapsity. That's not Grapsity. That's called fucking Grapso, I love AEW, Tony's balls in my mouth, and I'm going to wash them and fuck WWE. Like, that's what the show should be called. And then we get it. Rabid Wolverines LC Killer 17 for 5 says, one of my family members doesn't like AEW because of the AEW sicko and the crazy people in the internet. I don't.
Wrestling for dirt bags and lily pickers.
I don't blame them. It's been a bit of a turnoff, right? And you see a lot of people on X lately being like, I just haven't been watching AEW. And I talk to people like, Mish and Wrestling Soup Boys and Joe, and they don't watch AEW. And you talk to certain friends and they just don't watch it, man. And they tune into WWE because that's what's hot. And it is good wrestling. It's just this whole tired ass narrative. We beat it to death. It's every fucking show about what constitutes good wrestling and shit. And, there's different strokes for different folks. But at the end of the day, yeah, I get it. It is about what draws the most. But there is something to be said about the psychology of the matches and the level. Like, not everyone can make it in WWE. Anyone in WWE could go to AEW right now and have a run and get over, But not everyone in AEW could go to WWE and get over. It's the blatant refusal of any accountability, exactly. And then this gentleman here saying shit like, not Osprey, Javon is DEI. Everything's woke, man. Are you one of those guys? Cornette wife has boyfriends and you take him as gospel. Yeah, I don't know. I don't take Cornette as gospel. I haven't listened to him in like a few weeks, actually, a couple weeks. So I don't know who pissed in your cornflakes this morning there, my good friend, but welcome. Scott Woodford for 2 says, I'm a fan of AEW, but the product is not good. That's exactly it, dude. It's like I really still want them to turn it around. It's just Tony Khan. The Bucks, these are the people who aren't creative enough to be in these roles. I'm sorry. And when they're like, Tony Khan's booked everything, well, that's not a good thing, man. You're putting a lot of shit on him. So let's head over to... Boy, we do got a lot of WWE news. I'm just looking at the time here. Yeah, I think we could bang out WWE news, okay? We might save flutes for Wednesday. Because we do have quite a bit in here, so... Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave that on screen that long. People are just freaking out. Sorry, still waiting for you to provide a source about those statement you made that you never provided. Hey, Puff, do you and Tony have the same dealer? Bore ass, I barely know him. I agree. Daniel Bryan needs creative control. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that either. Will would be a massive star overnight in WWE. Yeah, but it's because of, this is why though. It's because he would wrestle the style the correct way. Do you know what I mean? It would be Will. You pussies would all cry about it. Oh, he's gonna be watered down, Will. But that's what would get him over and make him over, is the way they would wrestle him. You guys know what I mean? And so that's the one thing you all have to cope with and accept. And that's what I try and point out. Just objective reality. So let's play a breaking news here for some WWE hot news. And I am chugging fucking water and drinking coffee. I see something trending, though, I have to look into really quickly that might play into this segment. I really hope nothing is... Asuka is trending. I was just like hoping she wasn't released. You know what I mean? I'm quickly looking like, oh shit. But yeah, people are just talking about her, I guess. Okay, so WWE news here. We have Shotzi Blackheart. She wanted to help build Paxley and Dolan when she was in NXT. She fell in love with them and wanted them all to go up to the main roster together. So let's take a listen to this clip. Shout out Busted Open.
Only have you for 2 months and then main roster wants you back. And I was like, great, that's perfect. Give me a little run. Put me with these girls. Like I want to build up Gigi and Tatum. I really believe in them. And I thought we were killing it. I thought we were super hot. And then I fell in love with them. Like I was like, oh my God, can we go to the main roster together? Because I have fallen in love with these girls. And then I was told like, oh, you're going to start a storyline with Chelsea, which I was all for. Chelsea is super great. And they bring me into SmackDown. They're like rehearsing my entrance on the Tron, and then they cut it. And then it was like week after week, nothing and nothing. And then I start, you know, to wonder like, oh man, my contract's up in a few months. Like what is going on? And nobody had answers for me. And that's like finally when I was like, well, I'm going to cut this promo and I'm going to get some answers by cutting this promo. Only have you for 2 months.
And that's super shitty that she's getting ghosted too. We're watching you, Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Don't start getting fucking sweet here because you got everybody on your side in all the good favor because of Tony Khan's unraveling. Okay? We're watching you, HBK. We're watching you, HHH. Don't start ghosting people now like they're Layla fucking Hirsch. All right? Throw me a bone here. Yeah, Javon went off. We read that already. So Vince Russo, bro, he's accused Triple H of deliberately burying Cody Rhodes Barrow. Speaking on the Coach and Barrow show, Russo said, Triple H, bro, Hunter Hearst, hell, I invented the game, bro. He is not an idiot, bro. Let me tell you, if you do not comprehend that the longer we don't hear from Cody, the more you're burying Cody. That's what I tend to believe. Tommy Carlucci. All this stuff is done by design, bro. Can you imagine, bro? 150-pound rapper costing Stone Cold Steve Austin, who I invented, by the way, with Jim Cornette, bro. His world title, and then Austin is MIA for the next 3 weeks? Bro, I mean, can you imagine, bro, in what universe would that happen, Tommy? I swear to God, my back spasmed out a bit when I was getting into that Russo impression. So speaking of Coach and Bro, man, they were going off. So Vince Russo went off there, and Coach goes off here saying Bayley is washed. You what? Right? Saying she's washed, brother. Okay, so Vince Russo goes off on Triple H and Cody Rhodes, and now Coach goes off on Bayley.
Bayley is done.
No.
She's washed up. She's boring.
I disagree with
She's
you.
nothing.
I don't agree
She's
with you.
nothing anymore.
She's nothing anymore, he says. That's crazy. She's nothing? That's pretty fucking bananas to say she's nothing, dude.
Anymore.
Disagree.
What does she bring to the table? What does Bayley, if you dropped Bayley off the roster today, what would we lose?
You could say that.
Now that's a great point. That is a great point. Okay. But that just applies to WWE in general. Like if Cena went away, what are you losing? Like they're still going to sell out right now. They proved it. Right? You can make that argument really about anybody. However, Bayley's just like, if nothing, a great hand, Coach, you know? Like someone you can put in there, Coach. She's ready to play today. Look at she can be center field. But like, Coach, come on, bro. You know better. Bro, you know better than that, bro.
About a lot of people.
No. I didn't ask about a lot of people. I asked about Bayley. I also agree with the Jeezer. He says she's been boring since day freaking one. There are certain superstars. And when I was in the WWE for 13 years, there would be certain people, and she'd be one of them, that you'd walk around backstage going, how?
I'm not the biggest like Bayley fan either. You guys have heard me being critical of her, you know? But it's definitely, if you can have her on your roster, you want Bayley on your fucking roster, dude.
How in the world is she winning the Royal Rumble? Or how in the world is he doing that? To me, I've never, and I think she's a very sweet person, but there's a lot of sweet people. But I just don't think she's ever sold a ticket. Like ever sold a ticket for any rivalry that she's ever done. Bayley is done.
Okay. Coach, that's just fucking stupid, bro. Come on now. Main roster? I don't know. You could argue, but like her and Sasha was cooking down in NXT. So moving along. He went off there. WWE is looking to hire a new writer-producer. Maybe I should apply. So Vince Russo goes off. He doesn't think that Triple H has gotten anybody over. Which you could argue that. Let's really think about it as Russo goes off, bro.
I don't think Triple H knows how to get anybody over. I've not seen Triple H get anybody over. It's that simple. I've not seen the dude get anybody over. I mean, bro, like last week, I think it was on Raw. I don't even know anymore who's on what show, but you know, you return Aleister Black and immediately you put him in a 50-50 match. Yeah. You don't get somebody over that way, bro. He wasn't over the first time he was here because you didn't get him over. So now you're going to bring him back. Now you got to look at, why didn't we get this guy over the first time? You start with vignettes first, and you
start with vignettes first, bro, and then you introduce wrestling moves.
produce the character and you form a personality. The fact that he's throwing him right there in a match, the fact that he's throwing Rusev right there in a match shows me he knows how to get nobody over, bro. No one gets over on his dime. Nobody. You're gonna sit there and tell me Rosie Perez and Julia are
Rosie Perez. What the fuck, man? Oh my God. You mean Rosie Perez from White Men Can't Jump and Do the Right Thing and Dance with the Devil? You mean that, or do you mean Roxanne Perez? Did you just call her Rosie Perez, dude? Whoa.
You fucked up! You fucked up! You fucked up!
Are gonna get over? Hey, are you kidding me? I'm looking at these two girls right now. They're never gonna get over. Can you not see that? They're gonna be getting their pink slip in 6 months. I don't think
Pink slips, ownership papers. So Drew McIntyre is officially sells his soul to the final boss here. Let's look at this little ad or video.
Who shows up when no one is watching? Who knows your limits? What you're truly capable of? Who feels it when you hold back? When you quit too soon? Who has the power to block out all the noise? To push harder? To go further? There's only one person to prove something to. You. You're already a champion. And tomorrow, you get to prove it all again.
Damn, that's that Under Armour Project Rock shit right there. And shout out Drew, man. That's amazing. Rock sees a lot in that dude. I would love if he was the one who aligned with Cena and Rock as well, but it just seems Cena's doing his thing. So Josh Peck from Drake and Josh and All That. Do you guys remember that shit? Oh, this is all that. This is all. And the Amanda Show as well. But Josh Peck doesn't understand why WWE has post-show press conferences. He says the sport is scripted. What are you, nuts? You knew you were going to win. And no shade on WWE. I love it. These guys are true athletes. It's sports entertainment. So there you go, dude. So my faction guy says, for everyone asking, yes, it got patched. So what happened was the other day, WWE 2K25 fucked up, right? It messed up so badly that 2K accidentally released the pack to have broken odds. We've literally made millions in an hour because of their fuck up. So millions of like the in-game currency, which is hard to come by, right? We just opened over 500 packs. Oh, and I got Jey Uso. The hilarious thing is I started with 130K my faction points and ended with 3 million. That's insane. And when I signed on, it was already patched. Poor me. Poor Phil Marks out. Speaking of gifts, though, F1WGP7 gifted 5 Pro Wrestle Clips memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hopefully our biggest haters, one of those haters in here gets one of these memberships, or someone who really wants one badly who doesn't have one. So my 2K fucks up all the time. Yeah. Thank you so much, dude. We acknowledge you as well. So consider gifting, or 99 cents if you just want to buy yourself one. A membership.
Acknowledge me.
Hit like, hit dislike, leave a comment, leave a hater comment, whatever you want to do. Moving along. So Jonathan Coachman, he said he had this to say. He was going off again some more, and he says that the WWE Hall of Fame is fake, and he will never accept an induction. He says, people have asked me, Coach, would you accept a Hall of Fame nomination? First of all, there's not a brick and mortar Hall of Fame. It's just a made-up night on a Friday night. To me, they're just checking off boxes. We got to have female. We got to have a tag team. We got to have this. And then when they didn't have enough star power, they created a Hall of Fame match now. So we get Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin. No, it's not about the star power. It's about Ant Evans came on PWT podcast and said this on PWT podcast. Ant Evans worked in the UFC, handled Brock Lesnar, handled everyone. Dana's right-hand man for a while there. Okay. Was the guy at press conferences when Dana wasn't there, squaring off fighters. Ant Evans, he was on PWT pod, rather. Go back and listen. He worked in TNA. Right, was Scott D'Amore's right-hand man. He works on Eric Bischoff's show, works on Ariel Helwani's show, etc. Shout out, Ant. And he said it a long time ago. He's like, the move is, he suggested to UFC that they should put fights in to the Hall of Fame and moments into the Hall of Fame, and they do that. He said the next step will be WWE doing the same. I mean, they're all about the moments. Boom. They fucking did it. So shout out Ant Evans. That motherfucker, maybe I should get him back on the show so he can react to Coachman trashing his shit that he came up with for UFC first, that I'm surprised UFC beat WWE to the punch, you know? And yes, it's a star power thing, but it's also it's like, yes, it is an excuse to add star power, but it's not because there's a lack of it. It's because you obviously are going to induct moments, for fuck's sakes. Like, it just makes so much sense. They do it in UFC. If you're going to do it in MMA, you can definitely do it in WWE, in sports entertainment, right? But anyways, Coach is hating. He said, that's why I would never accept an induction. What a fucking hater, dude. Even if it is a work, who cares? We're going to show this. We're going to get flagged, whatever. It was bound to happen. But John Cena, man, and R-Truth, it finally happened. Cena snapped on R-Truth at the Backlash press conference. And let's see what happened. He hits him with the good old FU through it. Pause for transformative effect. Do. I thought it was going to be a beatdown in the middle of the ring. I thought we'd even see R-Truth like team up with Cena. He might not even hate Cena after this, though. He might run out and help Cena again, and everyone will be like, why, Truth? Why? And that's how you get heat on him. Right? And it stays true to his character. He's just like, nah, man, Cena's just whatever. You know? Because even when Judgment Day were bullying him and shit, he was still kind of down with them and thought he was in their group. And, you know, it would put heat on Truth without having to do like a heel turn necessarily, you know?
Ron, that was
remember way back in the day that there was rumors about John Cena and R-Truth getting into a beef at an airport?
Over the line. You say one more thing, and I promise there'll be repercussions.
John, hey, and none of the Mark reporters reacting. Come on now. That's pretty crazy, man. Shout out R-Truth. The location for John Cena's final match in December this year has officially been announced for Boston, Massachusetts, and it will likely be a Saturday night's main event. So Drew McIntyre is currently being checked out by WWE Medical. So shout out my guy Don Wayne, SC Maniacs, Squared Circle Maniacs. He called it. He's like, dude, that choke slam off the whatever onto the concrete there, like Drew's really fucked up. You know, him and Priest are both got hurt on that. So McIntyre's head missed the table during the big South of Heaven spot with Priest, and he hit the floor hard. McIntyre's being evaluated. They could just be working the sheets. But at the same time, if that's an excuse to give McIntyre a bit of time off, cool. But I do hope he's okay. Concussions are no joke. You don't want to fuck around with those. And for everyone saying every injury's a work, oh, come on. That's not very fair. So Night of Champions returns to Saudi Arabia on Saturday, June 28th, 2025. So Night of Champions, all the belts will be on the line. And good for them. So here's Triple H. He gets interrupted by John Cena. So let's see what happened. I'm not going to play the whole goddamn thing because we will get Don Stevens. But yeah, he's calling the shots. Here is Michael Cole bitching out R-Truth after he made the save there at Backlash.
No, he's not. He is a good guy. R-Truth, he's not. He's a good guy. He's not. That's my brother, Cole.
Then he gets FU'd through a table. That's my brother, Cole. So WWE is saddened to learn that Terry Brunk, known to wrestling fans as Sabu, has passed away. R.I.P. Sabu. We've been honoring him in almost every segment. Truly, hey? Only Sabu could appear in every fucking segment of the night. WWE has filed to trademark King of the Lucas. So what could that be for? King of the Lucas. Predictions in the chat. So BJ Ray, the penultimate episode of WWE LFG happened. They did other eliminations. I watched it today. Before I hopped. And I'm okay with the picks. It seems too obvious. BJ Ray, you'll see in NXT in no time. But he cut a promo. Now, A&E, don't pull me, bud. Let's do it. I'll clip this whole goddamn Fed segment. And my Nikita Lyons is Cringe segment got nuked from YouTube. That will be on Patreon.
Just want to say something.
Oh, did they misspell Luchas in the King of Lucas? Did they misspell Luchas? Oh, shit. That could be crazy. They cut promos on each other, too, like face-to-face before their matches, and some people legit started, like, crying because they got cooked so hard. Or else Devon will have to get the tables on your bitch ass. So speaking of LFG, WWE LFG coach Mickie James points out the widespread lack of job security in the professional wrestling business. Okay. And it's, again, kind of funny. Well, I don't want to say funny, but like she's talking about that for a reason. Right? And we all know that reason because she was recently let go of her job at LFG before it was even up, before the first season was even up. So that's pretty crazy if you ask me, and it's unfortunate for her. I think she's a better coach than Michelle McCool would be. Not to be a complete and utter hater either, you know, like I'm not trying to say Michelle McCool couldn't coach people, but I think Jim Cornette and Brian Last broke it down the best as far as like the way they sort of changed Michelle McCool's history almost, as far as like they made her out to be. I mean, okay, she was the first. What was her accolade there? The first like Divas champion. I think she was the first ever one when it transitioned from women's to Divas title or whatever. But other than that, I mean, it's not like she was in there revolutionizing women's wrestling. Not to take shots at Michelle McCool, but Mickie James, I love her as a coach on the show, and they're just not going to have her. It'd be cool, though, if everybody just had co-coaches, or if every season it was different coaches, because we just got to see Booker and Undertaker go at it again. It's like, well, what if next season it's Team Austin versus what? Versus Team Devon versus Team, you know? That would be cool. And you do it like Ultimate Fighter style, maybe, and just split the teams into two. I think it'd be more effective if the teams were just split into two as well. Anyways, here's the Raw. We previewed it earlier. That's going down tonight. And finally, WWE is potentially looking at the weekend of July 12 in Atlanta for Evolution 2, timed with a Saturday night's main event taping the same. weekend. And that, ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for WWE News. I will check in with chat here. Let me just tap in with chat. Chatty chat. Let's see what you all are doing. So Richard Adams became a new member. Thank you so much. We will
acknowledge me.
Appreciate you, Dick. Ageless. She love me some Mickey James. Can a brother get 20 more likes? Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen, Vintage George Capture. There is well over 300 watching. I'm not sure how many over on the Clips channel. Like UFC. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show, Chris Jericho.
I look and see it's not just me. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Let it get wild. Yo!
And George Capture gifted 5 Pro Wrestle Clips membership.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for George and Jericho. I hope our detractors got those. Guys, did I get a second wind? Okay, there's only one thing, I guess, left to do. I need to hydrate if we're going to do this. I was going to end the show, but I fucking love you guys so much. Let's put flutes in the chat. We haven't hit the 3-hour mark. Right? Your boy Phil is the 3 to 6 hour marathon man. Phil does sound a little glum. I'm just incredibly tired. I got a lot going on, but it's good because I'm going to be well rested tonight. And second win, yeah, it's just a little lack of sleep just because I'm busting ass. You know what I mean? And I treat this shit seriously, like fucking like work, you know, because it is. It really is. And I just try to put on really good shows for you guys. I hope they're funny and informative. And yeah, I am a little glum, but it's not like a glum attitude. And I hope that I conveyed that. It's just legit. I'm tired, motherfucker. It is tired time. And I got a meeting and we're going to go to sleep early tonight. And I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? So, but listen. I love you guys so much. Fildos and flutes in the chat. Eat a Snickers. I wish I had one. I'm actually really hungry. That's why I'm like, fuck, man, I want to get out of here. But we will. But we are going to make fun of Dave Meltzer. I want to see flutes in the fucking. I can't leave you guys hanging. I love you guys so much. That's how much I love you. Okay, and we need flutes in the chat because it is time for everybody's favorite segment. And it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Okay. So Dave Meltzer believes Will Ospreay needs to look the part of a superstar, Brian. Meltzer fucking burying Ospreay here. No, not burying him. Shoots on him. So Meltzer says, when you're on television, Brian, you should look like someone important. Dude, Ospreay, he gives you all these stars. Like, this is how fucking funny. Just the first part right there. Fundamentally, let's just roast Meltzer.
Dummy, yeah.
The motherfucker gives this guy 55-star matches. But he says he doesn't even look like someone important. How crazy is that right there? So Meltzer says, obviously Will Ospreay is super over and all that, but I think one of the things that kind of differentiates WWE and AEW. This is so goddamn funny. Okay, he goes, one of the differences between WWE and AEW, and it's not a good one for AEW, is when stars come out on WWE, they look like stars. I know, trust me, I study the stars, Brian. I know all about stars. They, dress like stars. They look like unique people. Exactly. So that automatically gets more points from everybody. Right? Hangman Page, it's fine because he's a cowboy. That's the gimmick. Well, the Repo Man would impound your car, Brian. So he would steal your shit. He was like a burglar. So it just fit the gimmick. I mean, the gobbledygooker was a turkey, right? Brian. Holy shit. Well, he's just a cowboy. So fuck it. He doesn't need any work. But Ospreay is a superstar. So he just, again, diminishes Page. Every time Dave tries to compliment someone in AEW, he diminishes someone in AEW or with WWE, whatever. He always shits on someone he always lowers one to put another one over. He doesn't know how to compliment properly, and that's why he's such an idiot. And I don't know why AEW people fucking shill or worship this guy, because he's so dumb. Right? But I digress. So his superstar promos, for that matter, his promo was awesome. But it just felt like in WWE, guys are going to look like stars, and when they're out there, and part of being, a star is looking like a star, and it, actually, really hit me, Brian, because Will looked like that, and then you see Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in MVP, and they come out there. Oh man. Remember when Dave said it was a mistake to sign Hurt Business? But now he's saying, look at Hurt Business and look at this guy I give 50-star plus 5-star matches to. And he looks like shit compared to them. Even Dave, he doesn't understand how his own train of attempt at logic just buries AEW ultimately. Buries everything. And I'm not saying everybody's got to go out there and dress like Ric Flair, but that was one of the reasons that Ric Flair was Ric Flair, was because he did that. Brian, if you studied actually the business, the NWA champions, it was always suit and tie because you look like a superstar because you're supposed to be a superstar. Whether it was Thez, Kaniski, Dory Jr., when you're the world champion or you're going for the world title, you look like you're somebody. So it's just friendly advice to Ospreay and to everyone. You're a TV star. When you're on television, you should look like somebody important. For the hard cam, he doesn't care about, Dave. Just some friendly advice. I study the business. I would know how to get over Brian. And so Dave Meltzer tweets out, Dynamite, did 629,000 with a 0.16 in the demo. Except it, I mean, it doesn't include Max. Went against Nick Celtics in the NBA playoffs, Brian, which was a major game as well as Stanley Cup on ESPN. And yeah, good little shill. I tweet out, right, in response. So here's Alfred Konua catching us up with some Meltzer, his, put it this way, Dave's, his, freaking reliable sources. Told him that The Rock's new Smashing Machine movie was bad. So here's Meltzer shitting on Dewey.
One of the leading experts on the Oscars, who polls voters and all that.
One of the leading experts on the Oscars. You mean the people who right now, if you pay attention, youtube.com/@PhilMarksOut, on X, PhilMarksOut as well. If you pay attention, they don't even have to watch the movies. Now the Oscars are trying to make these motherfuckers watch the movies and all the movies before they vote on them. And they're like, no. And these are the types of assholes. One of the top people, told me, Brian, because I study the business. Assholes who don't even watch movies.
One of the leading
is telling an asshole who doesn't even watch WWE some shit about The Rock.
Experts on the Oscars, who polls voters and all that, predicted that Smashing Machine will get 3 Oscar nominations. That Dwayne will get a nomination for Best Actor. That it will get a nomination.
Hopefully, I want to see it
for Best Picture, and that Emily Blunt, who plays Mark Kerr's girlfriend, will get a nomination for Best Supporting Actress. So, there's been a lot of
Didn't you get a report like a month ago where you said that people who'd seen parts of it didn't think it was very good?
You did. We covered it on the show.
I saw a review from one person. I've only seen one review, and it was not kind. I'll just say that.
Really? What do they not like about it?
Just didn't think it was a good movie.
Like the acting, the story.
Yeah.
You didn't think he was a good Mark Kerr?
I don't know. I just heard that just overall.
You heard, but you said you read a review. So did you hear or did you read a review? Dave's just a fucking liar. He's a mushmouth fucking dummy liar, dude.
Liar!
We just caught you, buddy, again.
Liar! Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
I never get tired of it. He's just a mushmouth. Well, I heard this thing that I read in a review.
All for a movie. It's like but the one review that I saw was a pretty negative review. Yeah.
And then he forgets that he even said that. Then he's like, the Oscars are saying he's going to get nominated. And who told y'all that they're going to get he's trying to get awards? Who's been saying that? Go type it in on PWT Clips. Look up Rock winning awards. I had a video about that shit like a week or so ago. I swear Dave's listening and just regurgitating PWT Universe or something. I swear to God, motherfucker, I was just saying this, that he's going to get fucking awards. Now Dave is shitting. He's saying the movie's going to be shit. Now he's going to get awards. Didn't you just say, oh, I don't remember? What an idiot, man.
I did hear that, yeah, but the Oscar people are really high on this movie.
The Oscar people, but you said one person. And that's the thing that Dave does. Oh, yeah, the one Oscar guy, but the Oscar people are high on this movie, just like he did a moment prior. Oh, I read this one review. Well, I don't know. I just heard from people. He does that, man, all the time. It's a little shithead game. He never heard. You know what I mean? He didn't hear from people. He tries to cop out by making it sound. He did it twice in a row there in one thing. Thank you, Alfred, for that. That was a great little fucking own right there, because it's just two things back to back where he's trying to start by saying one thing and specifically one person or one thing he saw or heard, and then all of a sudden now it's like, well, the Oscar people, I just heard it around the water cooler. Which is it, Dave? Fuck, man. You know what they say.
The idea was, if you tell crazy stories, there will be an appetite for more, even though it's all bullshit.
So Max will be getting more aggressive, and this should have been in AEW news, but Max will be getting more assertive with blocking password sharing later in 2025. The company is starting now with a more gentle approach before it gets more aggressive. Last month, Max introduced the extra member add-on feature priced at $7.99 a month. And yeah, how's this going to affect the Max? I guarantee Dave's going to try and spin this into, oh, well, the Max number's down because the password sharing. You know, he's already got excuses for whatever. Meltzer said what pulls this up, that Rob Viper. So you guys remember earlier when I'm like, Rob Viper needs a juice box. He was the guy who wrote the essay in the Sicko segment about, this is like a cult. WWE's a cult. It's a cult, right? And he's just projecting. And he has me pre-blocked. This is who that guy is. Meltzer said what pulls this card. And he says, you'll be shocked to learn that Rob Viper is a mutant crossbred from the tainted F4W Voices of Bitches bloodline, so Voices of Wrestling. He's a self-described lucha expert who appears on sites and shows to discuss his Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame ballot. These people should not be giving life advice. And this was the guy, again, a Wrestling Observer newsletter Hall of Fame, his flagship Patreon. He's a lucha expert, and this is the guy crying, WWE, it's a cult if you think Javon Evans is right in what he's doing. Crazy, man. So Dave Meltzer makes up lies about Dakota Kai. He says one person said that Kai still had use on a micro level on the main roster, but was never going to be used in the top tier with the likes of Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, or others. As they see as top women stars, they see long-term. Brian, what a terrible sentence. You said "see" too many times. And also, how about this? Like, that's, first off, that is a fucking insane run-on sentence, bro. That's a paragraph almost of a run-on sentence. A, can't get over that. B, she didn't need to be that. So that's okay, Dave. If someone told you that, that's like throwaway, who gives a fuck, goes without saying information. So Dave says, it was noted that she could have worked with Becky Lynch or Liv Morgan, who are also seen as top players. Let me see this. But it would be a short-term thing. Aside from that, they saw her future as just putting over the likes of Roxanne Perez and Julia. What the fuck? Who are the next ones with the idea of being pushed to stardom? The idea. Just say the ones being pushed, the ones they want to push. The idea of them being pushed, Brian, more than meets the eye. Optimus Prime. The thought was that long-term, it just say long-term, the salary they were paying her was not worth it to have her just lose to people on the way up. Right, but that's why you just have her lose to people on the way up and then pay her out her contract and pay off the Damage Control storyline. What happens when fucking Asuka comes back? Dakota Kai's just gone. And Kairi's getting yoked up, man. She's looking great. Io Sky is reportedly considered to be a breakaway star internally in WWE. So Meltzer goes, one person, it's always one person. One person high up in WWE noted that, she has ridiculously great work rate and everyone loves working with her. So no one has a problem making her shine, letting her shine, and designing matches for her to shine, Brian. Yeah, she's like the best in the world, Brian. Dave. I don't understand how he can just say she's the world champion. And you're like, oh, WWE's keen on that Io Sky. They might push her. Yeah, she's the world women's champion. You fucking idiot. Jesus Christ, man. A breakaway star. Oh, you think the world champion? You think? God damn, this old coot. So Meltzer was right about this. Uso versus Paul is currently planned for Saturday Night Main Event. Apparently that's true, so good for him. Dave says there are a few people in WWE who are under no-cut deals, but they are very few. Yeah, that's like the tippy top. And guys like Drew, who are in like The Rock ads and shit, and who The Rock's like, we got to personally sign Drew. These are the people who can negotiate this type of stuff. Everything's negotiable, and good for them, right? So Meltzer said what? Quotes the Wrestling Observer here. And this is what they had to say about the Crown Jewel pay-per-view. Even though it's Night of Champions. And Meltzer said what basically is quoting, okay, this is what Meltzer had to say. Because Saudi Arabia is getting the Royal Rumble in January, they aren't getting a pay-per-view later in the year. Meanwhile, they get a fucking pay-per-view. And Dave, it's called a PLE. Call it a PLE, you cuck. Dude, I hate how it's like, we're just calling them PPVs. It's like, all right, man, if you want to just be like old and in the fucking past, you boomers, like, I don't know what to tell you, but Dave just swing and a miss here. Because Saudi Arabia is getting the Rumble in January, they aren't getting a pay-per-view later in the year. So the WWE men's and women's champions will face the world champions just like last year. The belief is these matches will go back to being a regular thing in Saudi Arabia in 26, while the Survivor Series will have men and women's War Games matches. And then boom, Night of Champions announced. Dave fucking wrong again. Where's the Price is Wrong? He earned one of those. And yeah, they should do both. They should do both War Games and traditional. So, Dave Meltzer is insane, I posted. So Eric Bischoff responds to somebody who says something about like Meltzer in Mexico, right? And Bischoff says, "There's no reason to denigrate Mexican tap water like this. You owe Mexico an apology." Meltzer said, "Here's the wonderful thing about you being back. At the 6-year mark, if you're still around and your company is doing 100K plus for 9 pay-per-views a year and had 2 gates above 6 billion and garner $500 million TV deal, you'll have proved to be as good as the guy who spent years saying he's bad at his job. Tony Khan." Dude, how is he not being
The best
paid?
guy is Tony Khan.
If he's not being paid, it's the biggest L ever since Big L, dude. Okay? You'll have proved to be as good as the guy who spent years saying is bad at his job. Best of luck. And I'd love to see you make it because I'd love to see some of those guys make good money. Oh, man. Dave is utterly a delusional, insane fucking person. So in Meltzer's brain, he's not allowed to criticize shit unless he's beaten them in their field. So Dave's not, I studied. You're not allowed to criticize pro wrestling then, Dave. You're not allowed to criticize Wagyu beef for McDonald's anymore. You're not allowed to study or, pardon me, critique Taylor Swift or what all this other dumb shit, right? You're not allowed to critique anything, Dave, because you're not successful in anything other than selling a dirt sheet. Oh, man. Dave's really lost it, man. So here is Disco Inferno and Eric Bischoff and Conan. And Eric Bischoff reveals when he soured on Dave Meltzer. Well, first, here's Alfred Konuwa's response, actually, because it's along the same lines of what I just said. He said, "Dementia is a hell of a drug. So by this logic, if Dave Meltzer's meet and greets at the Palms Casino didn't outdraw both nights of WrestleMania 41, and if Wrestling Observer Radio doesn't get a $5 billion Netflix deal, he has no right to criticize WWE. Got it. Best of luck." Fucking cooked him. Okay, so we're ending on 2 epic clips. Okay, here is 83 weeks. I'll give you guys a Conan. And this is when Eric Bischoff just decided, fuck Dave Meltzer.
Eric, can I ask you, because back in the day, you know, occasionally you'd appear on, you know, the Wrestling Observer show and was on like Yada and stuff like that. And not that you had a friendship, but you would, you know, talk to Dave and stuff like that. I don't know how much or how often, but at what point did your opinion really sour on Dave Meltzer, do you think?
Well, it started out bad. I thought he was a piece of shit early on.
Yeah.
And then I hired a guy. I didn't actually hire him. Somebody else did. Zane Breslov.
Yeah, Zane.
An independent promoter, lived in Denver, but WWE used him a lot in that Denver market, certainly, and perhaps in other markets as well. He worked with WWE for a long time. He had a lot of great relationships there. He eventually moved over to WCW before I was made president, but we hit it off right away. He just had a kind of personality that I liked. He was probably ADD.
He was a sharp guy, though.
Huge hockey fan. So me and him got along.
Right.
Yeah. Big sports fan.
Right.
Didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't party, but a seriously degenerative gambler. And Lori and I would go to Vegas and hang out with him at the Barbary Coast Hotel, and he'd play the sports book, and we'd, have dinner and drinks, whatever. We got to be pretty good friends. Well, Zane was friends with Dave.
Yeah.
Right.
So, after Zane had been at WCW for a while, and we got closer. He said, "Man, why don't you just talk to Dave?" I said, What the fuck for? He's a clown. Why would I take time on my day to talk to a clown? He said, "No, but maybe if you give."
I love taking time out of my day to talk to Dave. It's unfortunate he blocked me. It's a long clip, guys. I'm trying to let it play so no one gets mad at me.
If him access, he wouldn't write such outrageous stuff about WCW. I said, "Well, All right, that makes sense. You know, if you won't give somebody an answer to something, then you shouldn't be offended when they make up their own.
Right.
So I said, all right.
Alvarez was recently on K100, and Husey messaged me. I don't know if this is out, but he's like, dude, I'm clipping K100 right now. He's like, so this isn't allegedly, it's going to be out there. And he said this like a day or two or some shit ago. And he was like, yeah, there's no way any of these dirt sheets are right about any of this AAA contract shit. He's like, Conan, just, you can't leak. You cannot leak, man. You can't be leaking. No one's telling Dave shit. Nobody. None of these people.
We'll try that. And I did. And it didn't matter. It didn't matter. He'd still write stupid, outrageous shit. So I was like, well, no, we're done. And it was brief. It might have lasted a month, two. I don't remember because they were never significant call. Dave makes it sound like he was consulting for me.
Right.
I've read some of the things that he said, clips of it. It's like, are you kidding me? But he needs that. So he's one of those low-level thinkers, that low vibrational state that doesn't get a lot of dopamine hit anywhere else in their life. Nothing that makes them just feel good about being who they are. Nothing that kind of rewards them for something they've actually accomplished. So they kind of live in this low-level vibrational state that is the internet wrestling.
It's funny because I see someone in chat saying maybe he owns 30%, and that's where he gets the 30%. There's no way Dave Meltzer's rich enough to own 30%. But it's funny how, like, I just started making the joke. I'm like, dude, 3%? Like, come on, what does he own? Like 3%? And then it gets all the way in the IWC to where even Bischoff's making clips. Does Dave really own 3%? Like, no, I'm just an asshole. I swear Brian Zane was tweeting. He's like, who's the podcaster who's talking about Cora Jade and burning bridges? I'm like, I think that was me. I think that's who he's talking about. Right? Because I definitely did talk about her, like, yo, don't go burning bridges now before whatever. And I was talking about all of the wrestlers in general, not just Cora Jade. So I don't know, maybe there was someone else who ran with that, but I just love how those things sort of spread. And I see motherfuckers on X who like don't even follow me, who make fun of Dave and throw flutes up and shit in the tweets. And it's like, this is wild, dude. PWT universe is uncanny, dude.
Community, and that's where they get their. That's why he throws such stupid shit out there, because he gets an immediate reaction. Boom, dopamine. You next.
But that never used to be him, and he keep hearing it over and over. And I'll give you an example. He had put on this thing that certain wrestlers in AAA were already under WWE contract.
Oh, dude, here it is, man. Here it fucking is. So he's calling out. So this is what Husey was messaging me about. Right. And so I tried to get Husey on today too, because we were on early, but he's so fucking busy. And I was like, dude, I am going on during the day. Please come on. He's too fucking busy. I will get him on. But yeah, right here, Conan calls this shit out. Right. And he just debunks all this AAA shit. Now, again, PWT is bringing you all of this before anybody has the fucking AAA news. So stay locked in here if you like Lucha, dude.
Right. And
I brought up the WWE buying AAA before anyone. Literally. Go back and, no one else was talking about it as far back as me. Period. So, Conan, again, I know people are getting tired of talking about AAA all the fucking time. And I'm tired of clipping videos about it because the whole last couple weeks have been this. But, yeah, here you go. Right here.
Oh, this is not true. Why don't you call me and I'll tell you what's up? So it's almost
and that's what I was saying too, man. Dave, you can call Conan. Aren't you guys friends? You were on his show. Why don't you just call him and ask him? He's the booker. And I said on the show, on PWT Live, I was like, listen, if we're going to believe these dirt sheet guys and whoever there was some Spanish like writer as well who broke some of this news. Oh, new contracts. And I'm like, listen, we can believe them, or we can believe the guy who's like the booker and in charge of their creative, fucking Conan. Right? And shout out Husey and not just Husey. Okay? You just put it that way. Husey didn't come to me and go, WWE's buying AAA. It wasn't him. Okay, your boy's got his finger on the pulse.
His answer.
And I've been on that Hot Lucha Summer tip for a long ass fucking time.
As an answer.
And the AEW exodus, which is continuing. Willow Nightingale's contract. I'm not saying she's leaving, but like, right? A lot of fucking moving around, moving and shaking going on in AEW this year. Weird.
To me yet. And so you know,
gotta get the answer to that part.
And here Meltzer going, there's going to be an exodus in 2025. You never heard that.
Right.
So, you know, and it's almost like all these people that the low level, however you put it, right? It's like he's the king of those guys.
Yeah. Well, that's where that's his connection.
Yeah.
You know, different people have.
And shout out Disco and fucking Conan too, because they're cool. And Husey's like, look, bro, it's better if like you do it your way, you know, if it's, you know, your approach is better than the Sheets, man. So, and it's like, sweet, man. Shout out Joe Feeney too. Shout out those guys.
Different levels of connection.
And one day we will link up. I assure you that will come down the line. There will be a link up crossover event, spectacular.
Social groups and friends and family and all that. Dave's tends to be most comfortable. In
Just
that
I don't
low
know when.
vibrational state.
Conan, throw me a lifeline. Let's go.
Yeah. Plus, too, I don't like the language like him use for fraud,
grifter,
hack. Just grifter, like all of it. And I'm like,
you know what's really funny is he calls everybody. You know, he goes grifter. Well, is there any bigger grifter in the peripheral wrestling cesspool of humanity than Dave Meltzer, who charges people $15?
Bro, I didn't even know. I didn't
even
even know what grifter meant. So I had to look it up.
People just misuse it all the time too. It's always people projecting.
And it meant con man.
Yeah.
How are we con men?
Small petty schemes. So exactly, people are like, you're a grifter. Why? Because I give my opinions on pro wrestling and it doesn't align with your opinion. So that's somehow grifting. No, you don't know what that word means, you know?
Right. We're not tricking anybody or stealing money. Yeah.
My thing is
But then a real grifter is the people like Took Timbo and these guys that we show on the show who in the sicko segment who are like, how dare they body shame? And then you look it up and they're body shaming people. Oh, WWE MAGA company. And then you look and then they're big MAGA Donald Trump supporters. And again, that's not what the L is fucking the hypocrisy. And that's grifting. You have your blue check and you're not keeping the same energy. I take the smoke when I criticize WWE. The same as when I criticize AEW. I'll take the smoke both ways. Okay. And you got to be willing to do that. And the people who aren't, you can just sniff them out immediately.
This perfect example is like when you ask like who's the fraud. You would just say
a person who engages in petty or small scale swindling. Right?
Like, let's be very honest. Let's say the entire set of facts existed.
So someone who goes, pay for our Discord and we'll give you insight. And then they go, oh, so that whole NXT had to get media training. And then when that leaks, you have to go out there. No one took me seriously. It was just fake. That would be a grift. Grifting $6 off somebody for insight. And then when that insight gets leaked, you go, no one took me seriously. They're all dumb fucks. It's just a joke. I'm allowed to be sarcastic. That would be a grift, folks. Okay.
Concerning AEW, their shows, their attendance, the booking, everything that's happened, right? And everything that Dave's written about it.
Just to point out an example. I don't.
Now let's pretend that
I don't know how I thought of that.
Vince Russo was in charge of AEW instead of Tony Khan. Would they have been writing the same way about that product if Vince Russo had been the guy in charge of it as opposed to Tony Khan with the same shows, the same set of facts, or would they have been buried in?
Yeah, man. And so here is another clip, a 5-minute long one. I love you guys so much. What an amazing show. I hope you all had fun today, this afternoon. But Jason G from the SAT says, whatever the fuck you say, Dave. And here is Brian. So I'll give you a Brian and Dave Meltzer reviewing fucking Backlash. Okay, so let's take a listen.
All right, we just got finished watching the WWE Backlash pay-per-view, and an easy 2 hour and 45-minute show, 5 matches. And what'd you think overall?
What's funny is when the first 2 matches were over, I thought, like, man, this is a freaking.
He's phoning into his own show, dude. The best is when Dave phones into his own show. Jesus Christ, man. Amazing.
Wrestling's for dirtbags and lily pickers.
Great show. I really like the I think both of the first 2 matches, but Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyria, to me, I just thought Lyra Valkyria had like the best match of her life. It was awesome. And the first match was really good. All 4 guys were strong. And then after that, not as much. Like the main event was every cliche in the world. It was fine. It had a lot of heat. They had a great crowd. I will say that. It was like the crowd, like a lot of times you'll have loud WWE crowds, but they're only like the TV crowds are so much into the interviews and not really.
They're only like, TV crowds are only into interviews, but the pay-per-view crowds are hot. See, he tries to like make believe these different sections. Well, the ones who go to the TV, they just want to see, they go there for the vignettes. But then the ones who, he just makes excuses for the crowds being hot. How about it's a good product? How about it's a good fucking show all around and you're all just coping? You all are living in delusional fucking cope. It's just the truth objective. You fucked up. Okay. And the problem is, it's like, the PLE crowds are there for the wrestling. Like, it's always just this flip-floppy, has a reason for everything. It can't ever just be what it is. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be.
Pretty much into the matches until the very end. Once they start hitting all the big moves, then they'll get into it.
The big moves. Yeah, the big moves are what matter, bro. They'll get into it. They weren't into Randy and Cena doing headlock takeovers. No, they weren't into that. They weren't white hot for that.
In this one, in a lot of the matches, they started hitting the big moves right away, and it was nothing but big moves. So, that worked. But they were into every match, in every match had really strong heat. Sometimes like the European shows are.
In chat, I love this. J. Don Seba says a good crowd means 5 stars, right, Dave? Yep, according to Dave. Again, and I hate this narrative on X. Why do people care? Dave says it's just his opinion. No, it's not his opinion. According to Dave, it's objective, and he gives big stars to matches that he doesn't even like personally, but he still rates them based on this criteria that he can't ever explain or define. And the one time he did, he said that it's based on how the crowd moves and how hot the crowd is and shit.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
So therefore, this is a 5-star match because they were white hot. Okay? Jesus Christ.
Loud. But they're into themselves. You know what I mean? It's like.
And he's triple and quadrupled down on that shit. Okay? And I've covered it here. I've chronicled it here. 626. Get on the omnibus, brother.
They're not really reacting to the match. They're just singing and stuff. This one, like, they were into the moves. They were into the matches. The matches worked for what they were. It's as far as like
the matches worked for what they were. What does that even mean? Either a match works or it doesn't. It's just saying bullshit. He's just saying bullshit. He's just saying stuff that means nothing. Vapid emptiness, barren fucking words that mean nothing. And he tries to just sound like an expert. It's just psychobabble to try and sound like an expert.
Getting the fans going, the matches worked. I mean, it was very Arena Mexico-like, honestly, as far as
it
crowd
was very
reactions,
Arena Mexico-like. He keeps just talking about how Arena Mexico, it's so hot, it's white hot. Mexico's white hot. God damn it. Dave, it was very much like a hot wrestling crowd. Shut the fuck up. Trying to compare shit to shit that you like, that no one else likes.
Oh, so that was a plus.
Well, people like it. They're selling out, Phil. Great.
But the first 2 matches, I thought the wrestling was excellent. The wrestling was excellent in the first 2 matches. And then, Gunther and McAfee was, I guess kind of what it should have been in a lot of ways. I thought Michael Cole, I guess, him getting carried away was what they wanted, and the fans were into it and everything. And
the fans were into it and everything. And then Michael Cole getting carried away. God damn it, man. The crowd was into it. So 5 stars, Dave. So 4 stars?
I think McAfee, for the role that he was put in, I mean, he did a great job, all things considered, but kind of also looked kind of like, I don't know, kind of low rent in other ways.
Low rent in other ways. Bro, he was blown up. You can just say it, Dave. Low rent in other ways. What are you talking about?
In there, like it's like, they didn't want to put him over as an equal, so he got slapped around. He did the big comeback and everything, and that all worked. But there were just points in the match where I thought it felt a little low rent. Main event was, I guess the main event, what I would say is it's all, all gimmick, you know what I mean? Referee bumps, and all they did was hit their finishes back and forth over and over. And, it's like, it was every WWE thing alive.
All they did was hit their finishers back and forth over and over. Never would say that about Ospreay. Well, he has 4 different finishers, Brian. Well, he hits the hidden blade and the os cutter, and those are all different moves. Fucking video game mark, dude.
Cole,
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ProWrestleTimes. Come play 2K.
Every freaking near fall, it's like he gives away that it's not going to be the finish. You know what I mean? Which I know is what Vince taught him, and he always does it and everything like that.
They're still pretending Vince is there. Then why wasn't this the criticism when he was there with Vince?
And it's just like, I mean, I knew it wasn't the finish, when Cena hit the AA and he just goes for the pin, and that means it's going to kick out and everything, which is good because the live crowd didn't have to hear it and everything. So they didn't, it doesn't ruin it for them, but man, I wish they would just quit doing that because he just gives it away. He never says it when it's the real pin. He always says it when it's the fake pin. So, when he starts saying it before the count, it's like, okay, guy's going to kick out, which, he did. Then we had.
Okay. So here's the problem with Dave's logic, okay? He just said right there, well, I knew he's going to kick out, and it was obvious he's going to kick out. But then, Michael Cole's spoiling he's going to kick out, and so it just kind of ruins it when he's going to kick out. But you just said you knew he was going to kick out anyways, and then you added on top when Michael Cole spoils it. But you already are claiming you knew, Dave. So is it really spoiled then? Like, what are you, a fucking 2-year-old? He absolutely can't help but discredit himself sentences apart from each other. One run in the same one long run-on sentence. He just dismantles his own logic and shit all the time. It's so stupid.
2 referee bumps and everything like that. And, for a John Cena match in 2025, it was as good as it could be. And, Randy Orton paced it well, and they went like almost 30 minutes, very slow, obviously, especially early, but it worked, it worked for what they were trying to do. And, Dom and Penta, nice, fun 9.5 minute match, so, I mean, overall, and it's kind of like based on what you want out of the main event, if you wanted a main event without a bunch of referee bumps and
who, Jesus Christ, if you wanted a main event without, you just said that the first matches were just wrestling filled where they hit all their big moves. So they gave you that, Dave. Oh, there's a variety in AEW. What's the variety? Well, everyone hits a variety of moves in every variety of match. They gave you all the moves, and then you got all the schmozzy shit in the main event. Why are you not pleased, dude? Because you're just hating on WWE, and you're just all glummy and pissy about it.
Giving away all the near falls and everything like that. Maybe not the best. If you're just into the idea of, a match getting a lot of heat and you're just enamored by the superstar status of Cena and Orton.
Robbie C says, how many times is he going to say it worked for what they were trying to do? That doesn't mean anything. Exactly. What were they trying to do, Dave? Make the crowd pop, give them a good show, send them home happy, progress storylines. Yeah, they were trying to do all that, and it did work. So what the fuck are you saying?
And against each other, then you may have loved it. I don't know. But the first two matches I thought, really, really strong. And third match was, fun, for what it was. A lot of interference. Too much. I would say too much interference.
Imagine him saying that about a Dynamite. Too much interference.
In like the interference show. I mean, like pretty much except for Becky Lynch, every match had interference because Michael Cole interfered even in the Gunther match. So, Cena and Orton, it wasn't so much interference. It was just referee bump, so very cliched finishes and everything. So I think, it was
very cliche finishes, bro. You just listed how not all the matches were like that, and then you said the one that was like that, and then you said very cliche finishes, plural. Just like earlier when he's like, oh, there's the one thing, here's the one guy. And then he goes, well, I'm hearing, the Oscar people. And then he goes, oh, the one match was like this. Well, they were all just janky finishes. How the fuck do people let him get away with this, man? Holy shit.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
It was like just for a 3-hour or 2.5-hour show. It was entertaining the whole time. So, I guess that makes it a good show.
Exactly. So it should all be 5 stars because you said it's based on if the crowd's entertained and how hot the crowd is and blah, blah, blah. So 5 stars, right, Dave? But he won't fucking do that. And because of that, I will clown you till the ends of time. And because of that, I will continue to do these segments even when I'm dead ass tired, Dave. Again, I could roast you in my fucking sleep. I could debate you in my fucking sleep. I could roll out of bed from a nap, scroll your Twitter, and fucking clown you, bud. And because of that, you get the flutes. That, ladies and gentlemen, was Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week. Okay, I want to check in with chat here quick. Let me see. Plenty and Pixlar for 5 says Meltzer is a stinky butt. Oh, thank you. Thank you. No. Great line there, Plinian. Good to see you, buddy. And Julia Gulia, it's amazing to see you're back here. And yeah, I know you've been busy. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the PWT universe. I'm dead tired. I got to get out of here. I got to eat something. I got some business to attend to. I got some great shows, some great guests lined up, some great things planned. It's all great. And I just want to thank you all for being here. And still, like, a huge turnout, like 350, I think we peaked at. And I just went, like, out of nowhere. I'm like, show's on in half hour. I can't do it tonight. So make sure you guys share the replay around. For anybody who's like, oh, the replay goes members only, head to my other channel, youtube.com/@prowrestletimes. Subscribe there. youtube.com/@prowrestleclips is the main channel. youtube.com/@philmarksout is where I talk about pop culture and shit. I got some list videos coming out, some top 10s and shit, and reviews and stuff like that, some news videos, and very much different than what I do over here. And yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here. You guys be good to each other, drink lots of water. Thank you, my mods. And until next time, I'll see you in the Upside Down. Peace.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jeff, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many others have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spent our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where I stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. We call this problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. We call this problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless smile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're 1 and 1 for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Get wild. Yeah.
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
No. Damn it. Yeah.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday comes again.
綺麗な空気。体には細長が気持ちいいんです。日立のビッグフロー、ウェルネス。日立フレア
Need a little excitement? Step into a Slim Jim. Oh, yeah.
And now to the man of the hour. Can someone get him a vodka with Metamucil? Blonde, great in-ring wrestler, great on the mic, a womanizer, 16-time champion, but enough about Kurt Hennig. Ric Flair has been paid millions and millions and millions of dollars by Vince McMahon, and he didn't have to fuck him.